Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Titans making more moves, as is being reported that they have signed defensive end Travis Gibson. And if you're just kind of curious where he came from, that would be the Chicago Bears. Kind of sounds like what we said about yesterday. Apparently, the deal is not 100% final, but he practiced today, so make of that what you would like. The Vols have announced that they're going to go with the OGs, the classic uniforms, this weekend against Virginia at Nissan Stadium. And Braves, Dodgers, two best teams in the NL tonight at 9:10. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yeah, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Happy Thursday to you. Brett Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Don Davenport, Ron Slay are both here. We'll get to the formal intros in just a little bit, but we want to welcome.
We just hit it.
That was
We
pretty
did?
good.
Right there?
That was good right there.
Slay.
Your mic's not on.
Way to
Was
go,
that mine
Hawk.
too?
There you go.
Yeah, no, yours was on. People were messing with things before the show.
Huck's got a lot going on back there.
I do.
I noticed that.
And we also just decided we're going to roll with somebody quick and easy. Let's roll.
Let's do it. Friend of show, longtime friend, Walt Wells. Eastern Kentucky football coach joins us now. Coach Wells, what's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Appreciate y'all having me on.
No question.
How y'all doing?
We're great, man. You ready for the opener?
As ready as I'm going to be. Like I tell everybody, I ain't got to be ready. Those boys better be ready.
Well, for those that don't know your story, we got to dive into this part of it for sure before we get to 2023. But I'm curious, like, how much more do you appreciate season openers now?
Well, I'm glad I'm here to be at this one as opposed to last year, where today might have been. Yeah, well, last year was the day. This was the day I got out of the hospital, right about this time, to be quite frank. And it was Thursday afternoon. I spent the Friday watching us play Eastern Michigan, and my son, who was a junior at that time, play his crosstown rival in Madison Southern. So got to spend the time out of the hospital then. So that was a blessing, obviously.
Well, for those that don't know, you had a major heart episode. It happened 5 days before the opener against Eastern Michigan. There's a great story about it in Sports Illustrated that people can go back and find, and we'll tweet it out in just a little bit. But I'm curious, how much do you remember about the details, about being in your office that morning, preparing for the opener? Luckily, your director of football ops, Thomas Bowling, was there, I think, refilling your refrigerator. I'm glad it was empty.
Yeah.
But what do you remember about that morning? Anything?
Basically what you just said. I mean, I came in that morning, was getting ready because it was a Sunday morning, but it was a Monday practice for us because we were playing on Friday night. And I came in that morning. My mother, Joanne Wells, who lives over there on McGavick Pike still, 91 years old and being strong. I was putting together a box for her to send her, T-shirt and some other things. And that's the last thing I remember is getting up to take 2 steps around to go to pick up the box. And next thing I know, I wake up, 4 days later and get out 5 days later.
Wow. So you wake up in the hospital. What's going through your mind right there? Like, I'm sure disorientation, right? Trying to figure out what happened.
Right. Well, and I was in a coma. I was in a fentanyl coma. And so, I was coming out of that, and I don't remember any of that. I don't remember, I pulled the tube out of my throat. I was, bucking like a wild bull, they said, and not knowing what was going on. And I actually had crushed the pump that they put in to do some things and
Wow.
onto my kidneys, and it stopped my kidney function. So they had already told my wife that I was going to be brain dead or brain damaged or dead and have kidney dialysis the rest of my life. And so she, you talk about the people that went through the heartache. It was in the trouble was my wife, my 2 children, Madison and KJ, my wife Jennifer, and they're sitting there like, oh my gosh, my daughter's a senior here at EKU, and she would have graduated in the spring, but she dropped out. Already called her really close friend here that's in, therapy, and had a therapy place for me set up because they thought I was going to need all that. And what had happened was when I was pulling that tube out, I crushed that balloon and stopped all my, kidney function. And then when they pulled that, there was a nurse, and my wife thinks she was an angel from God that said, something's not right here. We need to look at this. We need to look at this and look at that. I don't think he's brain damaged. And so she did some tests and, not like official tests, some tests. And then they pulled that out and my kidney function started immediately. And they were like, hang on a second. It's not what we think it is. And they went through everything that away. I don't remember any of that. Wow. I be honest with you, I call it a true blessing from God because, I don't remember anything until the fourth day when they had taken all the fentanyl out and it had gotten out of me a little bit. And then I wake up and literally my DFO is the one that is sitting there right in front of me with my wife and my two kids, or my daughter, my son had already gone to school. And that's when I looked at Thomas, and you read it in the article. It says, hey, man, did you save my life? And he's like, yeah. So I open up my shirt or my gown or whatever's on. And, my dad died of heart disease. My brother, who just recently passed of cancer, but had open heart surgery. And so I just assumed I'm going to have a big zipper going down my chest. And I've got a little slice in my wrist, probably the size, not even a half inch, where they went up and plowed through everything in my Widowmaker that was 99% blocked.
That is incredible.
It's a true testament to the people in this building that I'm in right now. Thomas Bowling, Kristen Peterson, Zach Vagoda. So Kristen and Zach are our trainers. Thomas was my DFO. And Caleb Cox, my wide receiver coach, was there. I mean, you would have thought they were making a training video on how to do this.
Yeah, because your heart stopped, right? Like when you passed out on the floor, number one, luckily Thomas was there, because if he's not there, then we're not talking to you right now, right?
We're not. I'm dead. And if Kristen hadn't come up and acting the way she did with Zach, I would be brain dead. I would, because I was about 30 seconds away from being, what they would consider brain dead. I went 4.5 minutes without a pulse and without a heartbeat.
Wow.
And through CPR. And then there's an AED literally 50 feet from my door. And she grabbed it on the way up. And, she went to work. I mean, she broke 4 ribs and cracked my sternum, giving me CPR, which is fine. That's how it's supposed to be. And they shocked me back twice here in my office and got my heartbeat back twice. The EMT office, literally it's all right. So I'll get a plug for EKU here, but for those that don't know, EKU is the number 1 or 2 university in the country for emergency services, EMTs, police academy, police work, FBI, Secret Service, CSI, all that kind of stuff, right? So right across, literally 150 yards from my window is a huge EMT office and station. So they get over here and they come up and they get me in, and from here to Lexington is probably like from here to Murfreesboro, and or from Nashville to Murfreesboro, I should say. And they shocked me back 4 times in there and got me back. So they did their job unbelievably. And then when I get on the table to go in for surgery, they shot me back again to get me into surgery. And so 7 times I went out without a heartbeat, and 7 times I came back. And if every one of those people weren't having a great day and did their job, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, my gosh.
Walt Wells, Eastern Kentucky football coach, who, by the way, is from Nashville. And I'm sure your phone had tons of text messages. I know you had them from Big Joe Dubin, from me, from a lot of people in this area.
Everybody. It was unbelievable the support you receive, and my family received, and people. My office line coach played for me at Western Kentucky, and he's got my son and taking my son to the dinners, and just everybody that could do something was amazing. And you can never say thank you enough. Just like to the 3 people that saved my life. This past Monday was the year anniversary of it, and what do you get somebody? Yeah. What do you do? I mean, I did some things, but they don't do it because they want to get a gift or anything like that. They don't do it because it's their job. They do it. They know they're trained because of their job, but they do it because they care. They do it because that's the profession they went into, and all 3 of those people that responded immediately were under the age of 25.
Wow.
And I know at 25 what I was doing in the city of Nashville.
Me too, Coach.
There ain't no way in hell I could have done that. I promise you that.
Man, yeah, all they'd want probably is a hug, man.
Well, they got plenty of that from me, my son, my daughter, and my wife. And, every day's been a blessing ever since. And, like I said, I came back I got out that Thursday, watched them play that Friday, and then that Saturday, I was in the office.
So
our team came back, and I was there.
How did you consume that game?
My wife was a little, I'm trying to use the right word here, not happy with me because I was texting the boys from my couch and why the hell is he in the game? And, what are we doing? Get him out. He's not doing this. You ought to look at this. And, and of course, there a couple of them in the press box. I know they got their phone. I know you got your phone with you. And so it was hard to sit there and watch because, I felt like we had a good football team and I wanted to be a part of it. But it was a true testament of the people that you hire and letting them do their jobs and having a plan and being ready for a plan. And, of course, COVID kind of prepared us for that because we didn't know if being the head coach, if I would be there or if the coordinator would be there or if whoever wouldn't be there. And so those guys went up and we almost beat Eastern Michigan. And then the next week we went and beat Bowling Green State. So
in 7 overtimes.
That was my first game back on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, of course it was. Let me get the heart attack guy out here for 7 overtimes.
I'm sure your wife loved that too. Yeah.
Oh, she's fine. God love her. She's been through a lot, and she's a trooper now. She's the best.
Well, and you guys go to the FCS playoffs last year too, which is an amazing story, Don.
And it just, people doing their jobs, people knowing their job and doing it. I can't say that enough, how important that is. And I think everybody always wants the next job, but you better be good at the job you're at. And, in this profession, that is so true so many times. And I just say, just be where your feet are. I get everybody has dreams, goals, and aspirations, and you should. But you better do your job and do it well, and then everything else will take off from there. Coach, and if they wouldn't have done that, I'd be dead.
Oh, my gosh. Crazy. Coach, when you sit here now, back to doing what you love, spending time with your family, all of that, how has all of this changed you as a coach, as a husband, as a dad, all of it?
Well, I think as a father, we play Cincinnati this weekend, which is about an hour and a half away. My son's a senior and is playing his rival game this Friday night. And instead of getting on the bus and going with our team for our Friday night, basically meal and me saying a few words at chapel, I'm gonna stay and watch him play.
Yeah.
It's important for me to have those moments. And in the past, I'd have been gone. And for my, wife and kids, me and my wife took our first ever vacation away from our kids, in December. And, just little moments like that I probably took advantage of my whole life because I was trying to climb the tree and, go as high as you can go and win as many games as you can win and get every recruit you can get and, make a difference in the young men that you're coaching and all that good stuff. that takes time away from your family. And, it probably brought the perspective back to me, number one. Number two is I was very, very grateful, thankful to be alive. I think I've always been that way. I've enjoyed life. I loved life. I try to live it as full as I can.
You've always been that guy.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. You've always been that guy.
But now it's, and I've always been driven. But now it's a different type of driven. And, and I told myself probably about 3 weeks ago, slow down. You can't make it happen. But I don't want to waste a day. I don't want to waste moments. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste the opportunities that, you either create, get thrust upon you, however it happens. It's hard for me to sit back and waste that time anymore. And I can look back and see where I did waste some time. And whether that's with my family or whether that's with my football family or whether that's whatever, I don't want to waste that time anymore.
Coach, do you see a difference in your players when speaking to them now? Are they more attentive, like when you're in the locker room, you're giving a pregame speech, you're calling a timeout? Is it a different look in their eyes? Like sometimes you got to grab them and get them out of the moment and kind of focus on the game?
Right. I mean, for me, our whole team was in the weight room. Yeah. Or in the facility when this happened. So, one of the guys that I was closest to on last year's team just, and it's just coincidence, just made the Titans roster, Matt Jackson. And,
yes,
I'm going out on a stretcher, and he tells me this probably 3 or 4 months ago, him and our strength coach. And that's when I went out again. And I'm sitting there, and you can see them, and I'm frothing at the mouth, and I'm doing all this. Now, you got to remember, these are kids that, they see me, I'm not going to say it's invincible, but, I mean, you know how you look at your coach. That ain't going to happen to him. He's not vulnerable. He's always either pissed off or whatever, and, high energy, whatever he is. And they see me frothing at the mouth. I'm white as a sheet. And then I just go out, and my head turns to the side, and my arms dangle down, and the strength coach said at that moment, I thought you were gone forever, coach. And our team's sitting there saying that. And so it made me more vulnerable with them when I came back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, boys, I am human, and so are you. And so are your parents, and so are everybody. And this could happen to anybody, and we got to cherish the moments. And so Matt, me and Matt were close, Nashville guys, and, we went through a lot here together, and we grew a lot together. And I'm so proud of him and what he's doing, and so proud he's doing it there. And so it's just those moments you just realize the impact that you may not, as a coach, sometimes you think, they ain't listening to me. They ain't listening to nothing I say. These sorry SOBs, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you go through something like that, you kind of find out whether they are or not. And obviously, I think I found out they were.
Wow.
Yeah, the last time I talked with you, there were a couple of Eastern Kentucky guys that the Titans had brought in, and you mentioned Matthew Jackson to me. How cool is that he made the roster, the initial 53?
Oh, it's he called me whenever, I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
He called his parents, and then he called me. We're on FaceTime, and when he called me and FaceTimed me, I had an indication that he was going to make it, and then when he called me and FaceTimed me, I was like, well, he ain't calling FaceTime. He'd tell me he didn't make it. So, send me a text. So didn't make it, Coach.
Yeah.
Give me a call when you got a chance, And so it was just a special moment for both of us. And it really was because, when I got here, Matt hadn't played much. He was labeled some things. And whether it's true or not, the immaturities as a freshman, this, that, and the other. And I told him when I walked in the door that he's going to be the focal. I called him. I said, "You're going to be the Mika Fitzpatrick of our defense." Because he played outside linebacker for us.
Right.
And and basically is a nickel position, which is a safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, that's what you're going to become. And sure enough, he did. And for us, and was a 2-time All-American, Conference Player of the Year, all that good stuff, captain, you name it. I mean, such a fun trip to watch that kid mature each and every year and go through all of life's ups and downs along the way and mature from every one of them. It's really what you do, you know, why you become a coach, why you want to coach, why you enjoy coaching. Everybody thinks it's the money, it's this, it's that, and there's probably some truth to that too. But, I mean, it's the relationship with your fellow coaches, staff members, and the players. That's what it's about. And because in the end, all that other stuff's going to go away, and it's going to be your players and coaches and everybody else that's going to be there for you.
Yeah, we kind of all agree on this show and talk about it all the time. Life's about experiences and relationships, memories.
There's no question.
People.
And we got another guy that just made the practice squad down there, TK McClendon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Big fella, yo.
Isn't that funny that?
I mean, I'm so glad the Titans have figured it out.
Hey, that's that Walt Wells pipeline, man.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
But that is funny that I asked you about both those guys and they both ended up making it. And Matt Jackson, man, had a
I'm so
tremendous
proud of
training
both of
camp.
them.
Yep. Man,
Yeah, I'm
that's
proud
awesome.
of both.
Well,
It
at Cincinnati this weekend, at Kentucky, you can go ahead and take down one of the SEC people in a couple weeks. And
well, we're just trying to go Big 12 SEC to get ready for the FCS schedule, right?
Yeah, I mean, might as well. Hey, Coach, always great to hear your voice and your laugh, man, and so glad that it all worked out. And thank God for defibrillators being around now and present.
Well, I tell everybody, and I appreciate you having me on to share this, and it's so important. It's so important that people get CPR training and have a defibrillator. I wouldn't be here. Damar Hamlin wouldn't be there.
Yep.
If Mike Leach would have had that, he had the exact same thing I had. He was just at home 15 minutes away from anybody, and he had no chance.
Well,
and, you know,
yeah.
if our whole staff got training, and we've got defibrillators throughout. So if you own a business, you need to have one in your building.
Yeah, Will on YouTube. I had double bypass heart surgery in 2019 at 37. So he's a regular listener. Prayers up, Will.
Right.
He said praying for Coach. Tay-Do 8-Ball says revived 7 times and played 7 OTs in that first game back. Coincidence? ? Laura, sitting in my car until this conversation is over. What a powerful testimony. Because here's the thing, Coach. You know people are listening right now that have been through this or will go through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or will have a loved one go through it. So it's great to hear the positivity that can come from something so tragic.
There's no doubt, and the American Heart Association does a great job. And you're right. So many people, besides myself, have gone through this, and it is, it's the number one killer in America. I mean, and it can be stopped if people react quick enough.
Right. Well, good luck, man, and we'll be following you this season. We'll get you on again and talk a little more football.
Well, I appreciate it. Hey, I just got one thing to say to Dawn. Hey.
What?
You were out in Las Cruces last week, right?
Yes.
And they took you to the tourist Mexican place. They didn't take you to Andale.
What? Oh, do you know what? Coach
I forgot
Kill.
to tell you that he told me this.
Yes. So Coach Kill told us to go to Andale too, but it was the athletic director there, Mario.
Well,
you got to get on him.
Andale's probably doesn't give an extra $500 to the program or something.
That's probably exactly what it is.
But the pure New Mexico experience is Andale's or Chopes. And Chopes is the biker bar that you go in and get the big O chili in. So
I'm glad I skipped that one, Coach.
Oh, you'd have been fine. You'd have been fine in there. But those are two great. That is the best Mexican I've ever had. So it's unbelievable.
Hey, the tourist place was pretty darn good. So.
No, it is. It is. It's a good place. That's where we take the recruits.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Coach. Appreciate
Thanks,
you, man.
Coach.
Love you, brother.
We'll be rooting for you.
All right, love you guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right. How
ya.
great is that story? How incredible is that story? How great is that guy?
Oh, my God.
Don't you just
That's
love
it.
to hear his laugh, man?
That's all right right
It's
there.
infectious.
All right, we go from Walt Wells with an incredible story. Donte Stallworth coming up next. We'll talk some Tennessee volunteer football and some NFL with him. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. Get it done this weekend. And my guy, Daniel Gupton, his crew, ready to help you out. There will be no pressure at all. They simply want you in the vehicle that's right for you. And that's what will happen when you go see my guys at 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. Just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Whether you need something bigger, something roomier, something with less of a payment, maybe you've got repair bills that are killing you. Whatever your story is, they'll be able to help you out. So go see my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Take your test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 24 West to exit 35 is about 9 miles outside the city, and then a beautiful drive on a beautiful weekend coming up for that next incredible experience, the best vehicle buying experience you will ever have. Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, or a pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or Jeep. These guys are your guys. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership information is there. All the inventory is there. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Still like out wings. Go and get you some. Why? Because it's the home of sweet and sassy, and it'll never let you down. Flavor will be on every single part of the wing. You just got to go out there and try it, man. They got all kind of flavors, too. Lemon pepper, sweet and sassy. The Ron Slay West, that's the sweet and sassy with the lemon pepper drizzle on it. Cajun ranch fries with cheese mustard on top. That's right. But I also like the lemon pepper Cajun, man. There's so many different ones I like. Let me tell you the location where you need to go find it. That is 3961 Nolensville Pike. That is Plaza Mariachi. Also, 123 Ewing Drive is another location. And the new location to go only right behind Martin Luther King School. Yes, it is Midtown Foods. You can go in there and get the same good old deals and understand this, man. Lunch combo specials from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single day, $8.99 lunch specials. Don't get better than that. Tuesdays, 6 to 9 cent wings. Don't you do no cooking. You go to Strikeout Wings and get your own food. They're going to take care of you. Make sure you're in the building. Let them know Big Slay sent you in there. And tell them it's still like out wings.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Saw a story the other day. Tennessee basketball ranked number 5 in the preseason poll of The Athletic. Do you see that, Slay?
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm not paying attention to that, man. I ain't gonna let y'all gas me up. I'm gonna stay focused. We got football, man.
You think Donte Stallworth can gas you up?
Nah, that's my dog. Take the head.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What up, baby?
How excited are you that Tennessee football's starting here day after tomorrow?
Oh man, I'm ready for it. I feel like I'm playing again. If that's how like my energy is right now. It feels like I'm playing. I'm in town. I'll be there on Saturday cheering on my boys. They've been, they've had a hard, grueling off season, and now it's showtime. It's no more talking. It's time to get down to it.
Are you one of the guys in charge of keeping Slay in check? Is that what's happening?
I try, but Slave's good. Slave's got his own deal.
Hey, I've been wanting to ask you for a long, long time. All right, Sacramento, California. Why Tennessee coming out of high school?
Man, that's so funny. I promise you, I've gotten that question more this year probably alone
Really?
than I ever have in my entire life.
That's funny.
When I was going to Tennessee as a true freshman out of California. I think the simple answer is Tennessee football, SEC football. But to make a long story short, when I was in high school, I hated college football. I didn't watch any college football. I literally abhorred college football. I was an NFL guy. I knew the rosters of every team. I knew the coaches, where they'd come from the previous year or the previous. I knew everything about it. I knew stats like it was insane. And one year, my cousin came in town, and he begged me to watch a college football game. And I told him I didn't want to, but he begged me to do it. It was Thanksgiving, so I decided to watch it because it was number 1 Florida State versus number 3 or number 4 Florida. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good game. It's, 2 of the top teams in the country. And Florida State just comes out and jumps all over Florida. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the score in the first quarter was 17-0 or 21-0. It was something like that. They were getting blown out in the first quarter. And I remember looking at my cousin and laughing and telling him, this is why I don't watch college football. Because of this right here. So long story short, he basically comes back to me. I leave the room. I'm like, I'll never watch college football again. He comes back a couple hours later and says, hey, it's a minute or it's a quarter and a half left. The game's tied. Please just watch the rest of the game with me. I'll never ask anything from you again. So I watched it, and it was a really great game. I got into it. It was exciting, and there started my up, dare I say, for the University of Florida, where I wanted to play football at the University of Florida. And so I was keeping up with the SEC and just looking at the Pac-10 at the time. It was called the Pac-10, and it didn't seem the same. And then when I went on my visit to Cal, Berkeley, Arizona State, and then I went to Tennessee, I was like, yo, this is like. These people out here live, breathe, eat football like I do. In California, no one cared. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you had LA and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
No one really cared about college football. So the visits that's why I tell people all the time, if you go on a visit to Tennessee, especially during a game, like a game week, it's over for you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And so that's what drew me to the University of Tennessee. And like I said, I'm so happy that the new regime is in, and they really care about the kids. They care about our history, and they want to make their own history. They want to be a part of that. And I respect Josh Heupel and his coaching staff a lot. I appreciate what they've done. Not just bringing back the glory days of Tennessee, but like this is just the first step. That's his mindset. He wants greatness. And every time I go to a practice or a game, I just see that fire in him, and I love it. And I'm so excited for Saturday that, like I said, somebody might have to hold me back because I might try to get out there and run around or something.
See, maybe we shouldn't put you and Slay together.
That's my dog.
Maybe we should
Right.
keep you all
Gotta get to
separate.
it, man.
I'm hearing this like it's simmering.
Right. I'm telling you, man. That's what it does. That's the atmosphere. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what
But
happens.
so you speak to just kind of, if you go visit Tennessee, you're not going anywhere else. There was a stretch in there where maybe that wasn't quite the case. Like it
Why
used
we
to
got
be.
why we got to be talking about old stuff?
I'm just saying. Listen,
She went to Auburn.
I went to Auburn.
The rest of us
No.
went to Tennessee.
No, what
okay,
I'm
okay.
pointing out though is that is back. That is the you go
Okay,
visit,
all right.
you go to a game now there. I mean, there's no way you're saying no, right? That's back. And then with Heupel, how have you seen kind of the transition of making sure the past connects with the present? Because I felt like that was missing for a little bit too.
1,000%. That's a great question because one of the first things that Josh did when he came in, he got in touch with a lot of the guys and said, "Hey, we're trying to bring this thing back, and we're going to need your help. Like, we're going to need your support." And I appreciate that. Other coaches have done that in the past, but not all of them, obviously. But I think Heupel really making an effort to reach back to the past players. To a lot of the football alumni to, get them back around the facility and, just help these. Because, you think about it, most of these guys weren't born when we won our national championship.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
that was my true freshman year, so that's literally for them, that's old history because they were not even born. So, they want to make their own history. And when you visit the University of Tennessee now, I think I even got it on my Twitter feed as my pinned comment where I can't remember who we were playing, maybe Kentucky, and they showed the fireworks and then the guys running out of the key. And just that atmosphere is back because we're winning. And the fan base is always going to be supportive. And I think, we obviously have one of the best fan bases in the country through thick and thin. They're going to support the team. They're going to be pissed if we lose and when we're not playing well, which they should be. But when we're playing really well, it's it's one of the best places to be in all of college football, including Auburn.
Hey,
Look
hold on.
Snuck that in there. Snuck that in there.
You did.
That's the tale I know.
And it was a little quiet there too.
I'm reading the pinned tweet right now.
That's
at
what I
Donte
was
Stallworth. Yeah, all
I
the
was
top
reading
recruits
that till he snuck that one
should
in.
visit Knoxville on game day and then just commit because where else would you rather be?
Absolutely.
Hey, y'all don't have an eagle. I'm just saying.
That's right.
So hey, let me ask you, man. What is it? How good is it to see that wide receiver room back to where it's supposed to be? Especially from your time, your era right there playing. It was receivers left and right. It was iron sharpening iron, along with DBs being able to push you guys in practice. How good is it to see it getting back to where it is, especially with Heupel right there?
Yeah, it's great because you've got. This is as important. In recruiting wise, where you see receivers again, the reason why I wanted to go to the University of Florida because they were putting out first rounders almost every year.
Yeah.
And I knew that my end game was to, even though I wasn't watching college football at the time, I knew my end game was to get to the NFL. And then, so that added incentive of wanting to go to the University of Florida. And Tennessee wasn't too shabby, wide receiver but when I got here, I literally would put film on. I had Peerless as a senior when I was a true freshman. So I got a chance to learn from him and Jermaine Copeland. And then I had Cedric Wilson, who was actually only a year ahead of me, but was basically a veteran because he was just his mind. He understood the game very well. And he got open. He knew how to beat man coverage and get open in zone. He was really good and probably one of the more underrated, not just wide receivers, but underrated players at the University of Tennessee. But when high school kids see these guys going into the NFL, when they see the Tillmans, when they see the Hyatts going into the NFL, as high draft picks, that's an added incentive to keep bringing in that top talent because they're going to want to do the same things at the end of their careers as well. So it's been great, man. I tried to build a relationship with a lot of those guys in the room. Obviously Kelsey Pope is, to me, one of the best wide receiver coaches in the entire country, and you could just see it because it tells in how the players perform, how they're getting open on certain routes, the crispness of their routes. It's a testament to the coach, but obviously it's also a testament to the individual player. So it's exciting, man, and they toss the ball around a lot, and so I'm excited for a lot of these guys, man, to see what they're gonna do. I definitely want to see Squirrel do his thing because he's the man. I mean, like I said, we got a room full of dudes, man. We got a room full of dudes, and we got transfer Donte Thornton, who came over from Oregon, big target. Hopefully all those guys will be healthy throughout the course of the year, and you'll see a lot of points scored because that's what they practice and that's what's demanded of them, and that's what they demand of themselves too.
Now you gotta give us this. Like we know what we got in the starters and everything, but you got a guy coming from your neck of the woods, and Nico. What's your thoughts on Nico? Just looking forward to the future. What have you been able to see out of Nico?
What's the
Because I remember sitting in the we were sitting in the box watching the game. As soon as he entered, I looked at you and you said, "Hey man, watch him. Keep your eye on him, man." You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So obviously, Nico being a Cali kid, I've developed a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
I had a chance to meet his father during the Orange Bowl, and it was crazy because it really it was so crazy to me that I had to tell my brother this story, my brothers. And when I met Nico's father, he was basically telling me, and again, he asked me the same question, like, how the hell did you get from all the way from California to Tennessee? And so I told him, and he related extremely well, and he told me that, because he's around my age, and so
right.
Again, it's always a reminder of I'm getting old. Like now, all my friends have kids that are going into college and all that. So just a reminder. But his dad was telling me that they had followed me, when I left California with Tennessee, and so we just developed a good relationship. Man, Nico's a great kid. Everybody at the facility, they all love him. They think he's a great kid. And one of the things that just being humble, like coming in with that type of allure, that type of gravity of just what kind of a player he is and a high class signing. The humility is just it's outstanding, and that's what you need from a young player, regardless, but especially someone with that caliber of a talent and that high of a ranking coming in. One of the things I remember him saying earlier, and I'm paraphrasing, but someone was asking him about the starting job, and he said, "Listen," he basically said, "Listen, like I'm coming in as a true freshman, and I get to learn this offense from Joe Milton, and I get to learn from these coaches. Like I'm trying to soak that in, before I start thinking about being a starter.
Right.
Like I need to soak that in, and I need to become a better player, and get the opportunity to learn from Joe while he's here, because that's important. Like I said, I was a true freshman, and Peerless Price and Jermaine Colton were seniors, and they didn't have to say much to me because I sat back and watched them, and they did speak to me every now and then. We would have conversations, and I didn't really want to bother the seniors too much, and so I just kind of sat back and watched it. It's so important, man, and that's what I think Nico has the mentality is that obviously you're always ready, you're always on call, especially being a quarterback. You're one play away, or anybody really, but especially quarterbacks, you're one play away. So he's the humility, I think, is probably the most important thing because he's not letting any of this stuff get to his head. I think he's focused on, like I said, becoming a better player, and I'm excited to see what he holds for the future of the University of Tennessee.
It's gonna be fun, man. Always appreciate the visit. Donte Stallworth with us. It's gonna be a long day, man. At 11 a.m. Early kick, and I don't know if you know this. Slay's hitting the premises about 7:30 in the morning. So look out.
Ooh, oh my God.
Tailgate early, Tater Head, baby. We gotta get to it. We gotta get to it, man.
I'm with you. I'm gonna have to meet you out there. Not that early, but I'll be out there early.
Oh, Slay's gonna come off of the night before and just roll straight into it.
Can't drink all day if you don't drink early. So,
That's right.
Hey, Donte, good stuff, man. Really appreciate it. Good to hear from you, brother.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Tay-Tay, huh?
Tater Head.
Tater Head.
Tater Head. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's going to be a fun day over there.
Look, Babsy.
Are funny.
No, it's gonna have a ball, man. I'm telling you now.
Dude, I was looking through some of Donte Stallworth stuff. In 2001, he had a stretch. They played for the SEC title that year. He had a stretch against Memphis, at Kentucky, and Vandy. 19 receptions, 439 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Crazy.
SEC championship game, 7 for 96.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And then went pro. That was his dream.
And him and Kelly Washington were on the same end.
Yep, and Jason Witten.
Crazy.
Iceman.
Yep.
All right, more 3HL when we come back. Major troll job by South Alabama. Don Davenport will be down there for this. It's kind of funny. We'll tell you next on 104.5 The Zone. Need your mobile plan to keep you connected while not feeling like you're draining your bank account to afford it. From Xfinity, the home of the 10G network, the future starts now. Discover the nation's best-kept secret and switch to Xfinity Mobile now with the best price for 2 lines of unlimited. Join the millions who save hundreds a year with Xfinity Mobile, one of the fastest-growing mobile services with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. $30 a line per month with unlimited data when you get 2 lines. Switch to Xfinity Mobile, rated #1 in quality and #1 in value. Mobile plans starting at $15 a month. Save hundreds a year with the best price for 2 lines of unlimited. Get nationwide 5G included at no extra cost. You can mix shared and unlimited data options with your family all in one plan. You can stream more or use less. Switch between unlimited and buy the gig anytime on the Xfinity mobile app so you can only pay for what you need. Automatically connect over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide to save money on data. Restrictions apply. Compares pricing of top carriers. Xfinity Internet required. Most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report. Results vary. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabits of usage per line. Customer satisfaction compared to all measured full-service providers in the 2021 American Customer Satisfaction Index survey of customers rating their own wireless service providers' performance. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes and fees are extra. Data thresholds and actual savings may vary based on weighted average of consumer reported savings compared to charges for top 3 carriers.
What's happening, people? Ron Slay here, man. Holistic stem cell therapy. That's what I had to go on and dive into, man. I went and met with Dr. Kellum and got my free consultation. And after that consultation, I really wanted him to go on and put me up there right then and there. Let's go on and get started. I don't need to come back. I'm scheduled now. Let's get to work. I want to feel better, man, because I'm a believer in what he was telling me. It's an honest, dependable guy, man, and I understand exactly what he was telling me. If I had any questions, he answered all of those. Your body, your cells, your solution. That's what's going to get you healed. Your body healing your own body. There's nothing better than that. When you put in medicines and all of that's good. But nothing is better than your God-given body, man. It only makes sense. Get your free consultation today, 850-4415. That's 615-850-4415. And this is for everything, not just athletes. Got my knee back together. I've been retired for about 4 or 5 years now, maybe 6, 7 years. I don't even keep up with it no more because my body feel like I played yesterday. But no longer. Not with this stem cell therapy. It's on KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Go get your bodies healed today.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Coming up at 4 o'clock, you'll hear from the Titans general manager, Rand Carthon. Met with the media today. South Alabama at Tulane. Don Davenport has that game this weekend, right?
Yes, it's going to be good. I mean, they're what, hour and a half from each other?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they battle over one particular thing, and they have forever. And now they're going to, again, South Alabama on the back of the helmet, home of Mardi Gras. Which a lot of people don't know that, but that's actually true.
It's actually true.
Mardi Gras started in Mobile, Alabama. New Orleans made it famous. And I saw, who's our guy, Jacob Hester, who played at LSU, was talking about on Twitter how petty that was. But he's from New Orleans.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah, Baton Rouge area. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Played at LSU.
you know. I will say we had
pretty
coaches
funny.
calls today, and it was discussed.
That's so funny.
Yep.
That was the topic.
Petty, petty, petty. All right, Ray Carthon, you'll hear from him next on 1045 The Zone.
Y'all, it feels like fall out there, but don't be fooled. I promise it's getting hot. Just wait till next week. It'll be back hot again, and your HVAC unit will be put to the test. I hope it's up to speed and up to par. If it's not, you need to get in touch with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, Babs.
Yes, for those that are new to Nashville, this is what happens. This is this is what we do. So if your air unit didn't work in the last hot spell, you might want to go ahead and have Spring Hill Heating and Cooling out to fix it. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, proud to be a York certified comfort expert company, and they're always backed by 10-year parts and labor warranty on York products. But what I really want to tell you about Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is that they're family owned and operated company. Kevin opened the doors back in 2011 while raising his family. Now his daughters run the office. His son-in-law run the on-site technician part of it. There's always a family member just one phone call away, Slade.
That's right. You need a new unit, they got you covered. Get up to 60 months, no interest, financing with approved credit. Call another company about your unit. Not sure if you agree. Spring Hill also gives free second options. Free second opinions. And it's an option as well. So you need to hit them up. SpringHillAC.com.
Call them.
Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hogg. The Titans have made the moves official. They have officially signed Cade York to the practice squad. They have officially put Kyle Phillips on injured reserve. They have waived Justin Murray from the active roster, and they have released Sam Okwonkwo from the practice squad. Now, the interesting part, we mentioned him yesterday. Center Corey Levin is back on the active roster, and the Titans have announced that they have officially signed outside linebacker Travis Gibson. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. College football week 1 begins tonight. Florida and Utah. Utah a 5-point favorite in this football game.
Still, let me go check this out, yo.
Don't expect Cam Rising, Utah's quarterback, to play. Certainly a key for Florida is their quarterback, Graham Mertz, who comes over from Wisconsin. Game manager type guy.
Yeah.
But if you get down or third and long, like, he's going to have to make some plays. He's got 32 starts to his college football career, just under 60% career passer. Florida won 29-26 last year, and Utah was a 3-point favorite going into Gainesville. But the Gators get it done. Utah has won 14 consecutive home games and is 25-1 in its last 26 at home in Salt Lake City. They've won 28 consecutive non-conference games in that building.
Yeah.
This is Florida's first non-conference road opener since 1987.
Oh, wow. What you going to do, Florida?
So,
Since 87?
yeah.
Yep.
We'll break down that game a little bit later. I've already bet it. Have you bet it?
Huh. Bet them probably 3 days ago.
I thought you were going to say like 2 months ago.
I may have. I got to go back and look at the
Florida's
timestamp.
schedule. Check this out real quick. And then I'll do a deep dive into Florida a little bit later. But at Utah, Tennessee, at Kentucky, Georgia, Arkansas, at LSU, Florida State.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wow. You talking about a gauntlet.
That's why
Hello.
hello. That's it. Florida's win total
Thank you.
5.5 going into the regular season.
Eesh.
That's tough, man. How many of them on the road?
At Utah, at Kentucky, at LSU.
Sheesh.
Back-to-back losing seasons for the Gators for the first time since the late 70s, and back-to-back losing seasons in the SEC for the first time since the 50s. And they're going for 3 in a row.
What, Gators? Where y'all at?
I thought you might like some of that.
Where y'all at?
I'll pull a Busta Rhymes in a little bit
Where in Carthon? Where y'all at?
and give you some more.
Yes, behind the preposition. Where y'all at? Carthon.
End of the preposition. You know how I feel about that.
Oh, you little Gators.
Don Davenport is here.
Hi.
What up, Babsy?
Let's go. Little Thursday football talk, baby.
I know it's good. Also, Missouri in action tonight, low key.
Oh, yeah.
Who are they playing? I don't even know.
This is a low-key game nobody's talking about.
Oh, Missouri?
Yeah.
They were playing South Dakota.
Yeah.
Missouri's a 26.5 favorite.
Not
Point
South
favorite.
Dakota State. South Dakota.
Missouri from the SEC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why they ain't on the docket nowhere?
Yeah, they are.
It's because it's
Not
South
on
Dakota.
On Superbook, right in front of the Florida-Utah game. While he peruses his betting app, his name is Ron Slay.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building. Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
How is Mizzou skating
I'm
on
in
the
the
radar
building.
like
I'm in
this?
the building.
I don't know, but SEC Live is broadcasting live there.
Really?
Or SEC Nation. What do they call that show?
Well, it'll be on SEC Network tonight.
Right.
Wow.
Or ESPN Plus. You don't get that, and you do get it.
Who got the Florida game then?
Because my
ESPN.
my old play-by-play guy, Clay Matvick's on the call with Aaron Murray, former
Okay, Georgia.
Bulldog.
Boy, easy. Okay.
There you go. Some Tennessee Titans information. The Titans signed former Bears pass rusher Travis Gibson 5th-round pick in 2020 from Tulsa. 3 seasons, 10 sacks in the last 2 years. In 2021, this man has 7 sacks and 5 forced fumbles.
Okay.
Okay.
That's Coach Mack
2 years
said
ago.
It was.
today on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. He came in studio for them.
What'd he say?
He said you could never have too many pass rushers.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Now you can't. Not in this league.
Well, can I put a request in?
What, yo? What's going on?
I would like an inside linebacker. Are there any out there like on the short, on the like the top? Is Toys R Us still around? Like, is there an inside linebacker on the top shelf?
He's coming back.
Maybe they'll find one soon.
Why am I? Are y'all down on Dr. I'm sure he's a great dude. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about on the field. Like, that's a hole.
So my perspective, I had to talk to some reps because I was on the ledge for a second, and my reps told me that you got to understand, like, they don't have to have 2 inside linebackers in there the majority of the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but he is in there though. I've seen him.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there. Like just like the teams.
I saw him running.
I
saw him running man to man with a wide receiver.
Yeah, like then you gonna see. Yeah, yeah. That's what
I
I'm
remember
saying.
seeing him on the goal line against the New York Giants last year.
Yeah, I mean, you gonna see him out there. Yeah, you want to see him out there on the run, but it was banged up and everything. It's gonna be all right, yo. It's gonna be all right. You got them things coming off the edge. You got them people coming to the middle.
He's good enough, right?
Yeah, that's what I.
Here we go.
No, seriously, that's what I was told. They was like,
Here
man,
we
you gotta
go.
imagine them putting that nickel out there and bringing another safety in as well. Like it's gonna be. They were very optimistic, and this is not an optimistic person I was talking to. So,
Okay.
if they can be optimistic,
Then surely we
yeah,
can.
yeah, just hold on, 'cause we coming. I feel you though. I feel you. I just what happens if you don't get the sub. That's the only thing. Because I don't think they're gonna put him in it. Vrabel's a smart man. Vrabel's not gonna put him in a position to hurt the defense. This defense ain't gonna put him in a position. Think about all the characters on that defense and the pride that they play with.
Yeah.
So you're
You think
saying
it's
there's going to
gonna
be
be one loose?
enough people running to the ball that Dr. Gibby might not even have to.
I think if he can't get to the ball, you think one of them ain't gonna stand up in the meeting and be like, "Hey man, come on, hey, we gotta do something else." It's too many.
There ain't
too
nothing
many
else.
veterans.
I'll go ahead and give you that.
Well, yeah, I bet they find something. It's too many veterans.
Whatever happened to
It's too
Monty
many
Rice,
veterans
Slay?
for
What happened to Monty Rice, Slay? What happened to Monty Rice,
Probably down there
Slay?
in Georgia, I guess. I don't know where yet. That was it.
All right, Rand
That was
Carthon.
it. That was the piece.
Hunk, I want to start with cut number 2. Why did the Titans decide to cut both kickers at the same time? Let me have it.
Our pro department did a ton of work and had us prepared for those scenarios of who may come available, who may not come available. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I have it written in the office, but there were several teams that had, 2 kickers on their roster, and, most teams are not going to keep 2. And so we did the research and felt good about our chances of getting someone here that we wanted to work with. And just another example of the collaborative process, well before we even made the, first moves to, release the kickers, got with Coach Ock and, Tom Quinn and Anthony Levine. And we had a running list of who we liked that could potentially come free, in terms of guys that were on teams. We had a list of guys that were on the street that we liked. So we had the position surrounded, from not only a scouting perspective, but from a coaching perspective, and felt good about getting someone here that we liked, that we felt could help us.
When you saw the streetwalker yesterday, did you see any street kickers?
Nah, I ain't seen no. I saw some street picker-uppers. I ain't seen no street kickers though.
I still think it's funny that you saw that happen in 2023.
That was amazing.
He never told this story.
No, I had to tell it though. You just let me know when.
This was the story.
We're going from street kickers to streetwalkers.
Streetwalkers.
Hey,
if you were listening yesterday, right when we came on the air, Slay started to tell a story. Then he was like, I don't know if I should tell it. And so we made him wait to talk about it in the break before we actually approved it. And then we never got back to it.
Yeah.
So we, now that we're talking about street kickers, we'll approve your story.
Okay,
Slay.
thank you. So I pull over at the gas station, give me a little gas after I get my little food, and while I'm sitting there, I hear somebody
Busy
scream.
intersection.
Busy, super busy. I'm down on 8th Avenue, I believe. I'm hearing somebody holler like, "Get around here! Come around here!" And I'm like, who is out here hollering? Like, this is not the place for this. You know what I'm saying? There's cars zooming all around, and then all of a sudden, like 2 seconds later, I see a little old school Cadillac come by, and the older guy, probably about 70, 75, he looking, trying to search, you know what I mean, looking left and right like, well, where they at, where they at? You know, and then all of a sudden, he busts a left behind the little gas station. So when he busts a left behind the gas station, I'm like, why is this man creeping like this?
He was creeping, wasn't he?
Yeah, real creepy, like he looking for something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the lady that hollered, she pop out like a little ghost, like, hey, it's me. You know what I mean? And just go around and get into the passenger seat, and it was a streetwalker. And the craziest thing about the whole
allegedly.
No, I know what they look like. Listen, I grew up. I'm telling you, I used to be back into my alley. Back when I was about 10, 11
back
years
in North
old.
National?
Yeah, man. I used to look in the back of the window and be like, what are they doing back there? But I'm telling you, the craziest thing is she had a mask on.
A mask, like a COVID mask?
Yeah, like she didn't want to.
Safety, Slay.
yeah.
Safety
Slay.
first.
It's all about protection.
Yeah,
man.
she's trying to protect herself, Slay.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it in such a long time because they got apps out and gentleman clubs and all kind of little places you can go.
Apps out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, day naps and all kind of weird stuff going on. But I looked at it and I was like, I almost wanted to follow him.
Don't do that.
No,
That was probably a good idea to
But
not.
it was
Just in
wild to
case
me.
someone else was
I hadn't
following
seen
them.
that in a long time. And then I wanted to kind of ask, like, why you have a mask on?
You want to interview her.
Yeah, like, is that your word? Is that your top word? Is that at the top of the priority list? Not to get COVID? And I was like, okay.
Hey, it is going around, they say.
They say it's back.
Affects business. Like.
Salute to the streetwalkers,
It
man.
would affect
They
your
still out here.
business.
I think she the only one.
Salute to the streetwalker.
No, for real. I saw her go over there to Walgreens and then come back. You know what I mean? So maybe
She got more masks.
Salute to the
she got more masks.
salute to the streetwalkers and the street kickers.
Here
we are.
I mean, Ray
Happy
Carthon said
Thursday,
that.
It was
people.
wild,
You just
man.
can't find a kicker on the street
It was wild.
over there at Walgreens.
Said he went over to get the mask. Gotta be safe.
Greg
Oh,
Cosell.
man.
Next on 104.5 The Zone.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Do you need some cash now instead of having to wait for your
No.
current house to
Oh, okay.
sell? Loan Pronto is who all of y'all need to call, because they can help you out here. Dream Home Bridge Loan is what they have going on with Loan Pronto. They can help you tap your equity so you can get the cash that you need, make a clean offer on a new home, maybe an investment property if you're looking into that. And you can have the cash to cover the down payment there. With this amazing program, you get the cash in a matter of days. Little paperwork, no appraisal is usually needed, so you can go after the house you want with no contingency. Don't put off your dream. Let Loan Pronto help you leverage your equity. Get the cash to make a solid, clean offer at 615-499-5780. They also have the best rates around, by the way. Ask about the Dream Home Bridge Loan with Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Get up off that roof. You better, unless you're James Brown, you can stay up there. But you get down, man. Chimney, they're going to take care of everything up there going on in your chimney. Need it cleaned out, need it ready to perform. Well, call the people that are honest, dependable, and affordable. That affordable part, that's key. The number is 615-364-8987. Chimney, you give them a call. Over 63 years of experience. They specialize in all aspects of fireplace. Chimney services from inspection to estimates. Now, it's right around the corner, y'all. We're going to hit the fall, and you're going to be sitting there looking crazy, trying to figure out why you can't entertain. They're going to have to go over your neighbor's house instead of your house. Get everything in order, man. That outdoor kitchen, outdoor fireplace, the fire pits, fire bowls, any masonry work you need to be taken care of, even your dry vent service and all of your chimney service, repairs, restorations, makeover, whatever it is. 615-364-8987. Tell them Big Slay sent you. Get scheduled right now and take advantage of the hot summer special before it's no longer there. It's Chimney.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you.
Yeah.
This tweet is going out right now. We're breaking down the Titans' initial 53 with the best film evaluator in football at Greg Cosell. Watch the show live here.
Oh, yeah.
Post right there. Greg Cosell joins us as he does every Thursday at 4:20. Greg, what's up? How are you?
What's happening, guys? We're getting ready to play some real football now.
How's that feel, man? Titans at Saints next weekend. Can't wait.
I know, and now we got the roster set. I guess there could be a few changes, but looks pretty good.
Yeah, the initial 53 is what Coach Mack keeps telling us to say.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it could change. It could. You never know.
It could. That's right. So as we work through the initial 53, a couple of things stand out to me. I'm going to go ahead and start with my guy Caleb Murphy, who just continues to pressure the quarterback. I asked Coach Mack the other day, Greg, I said, is this a case where they just felt like they couldn't release him and him clear waivers so they could put him on the practice squad? And he's like, yeah. He said he needs a bigger football body, but the guy gets to the quarterback. What do you see on tape from him? He had 4 sacks, 8 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss in the preseason.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him. I mean, I think it was Ferris State. Was that where he went?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I absolutely knew nothing about him, so I was seeing him for the first time. You can see traits for sure. That's what you can speak to in the preseason, because obviously he's not, playing against the kinds of players he might have an opportunity to play against if he gets in games. And I would assume, looking at the roster, he might get some snaps here and there, because he can rush the quarterback. So I'm anxious to see him. I think he's got a really good body. He's got some length to him. And I think that, we could see him play some meaningful snaps. I don't want to say significant snaps because we don't know that. But, there's always, every team has a guy or two like that goes through camp and the preseason, and you kind of go, wow, this guy looks like he belongs. And I think he looks like one of those guys.
Greg Cosell with us on 3HL. At Greg Cosell, you've got a lot of work responsibilities coming up quickly. Let me ask you about, and we've talked about Malik Willis through the course of the preseason, but now that it's all done, and we've seen some more ups and some more downs, and this last preseason game, he inexplicably throws it to a linebacker who I don't even know is supposed to be in the right spot. But what did you see from what we saw last year compared to what you saw in the preseason this year?
He's better, without question, but I think the big issue, if he had to play, and obviously because Will Levis simply did not have enough of a preseason as a rookie to feel that he would be the number 2 guy if indeed Ryan Tannehill early in the season were to miss any time, Willis would be the guy. The big question is trust of the coaching staff. What do you feel you can do with Malik Willis? Do you have to limit what you do offensively? Not because he mentally can't handle it, and I don't want people to think that's what I'm speaking about, because you don't know if physically he can with consistency do what you'd like him to be able to do. And I think that is a question at this point. As I said, he's certainly better than he was a year ago, where everybody would agree he really had a hard time. But there's just too many, for want of a better way to say it, bad plays. And that's what kills you in games, and particularly when you get to the regular season. Obviously, you'd almost rather really tailor things down and hope you can get through without negative plays. But it's hard to win that way in the NFL. You need your quarterback. The term I always use, and coaches use it as well, you can't hide your quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to need to hire the quarterback when you got these guys getting after you on their front line. But I want to look at a guy when you need the points. You got a defense getting you stopped. You can't really move the ball. You're rushing it. You get past the 40. It's time to kick. Nick Folk. What can we expect out of him? What have you seen out of him? Go say.
You know what?
You like that build up for that?
I'm going to be honest with you. Slight, I am not a special teams guy, so I really can't speak to that. I don't really watch Greg.
That's important, man.
It is.
It can be, but you know what? In my 70 to 75 hour work weeks, I just don't get the special teams.
Well, it's funny too, because it really feels like the way that they evaluate kickers over there is if they miss a few, they're gone
out of here.
Yep. And so when when what's his name, Badgley.
Yeah, they got him.
He started playing pinball off the uprights a couple of times in that preseason game. We were all like, "Well, there he goes."
Yeah. Hit it every time. You go home.
Either that or you won't be around. Listen, Greg. Okay, give me an overall general grade of what you thought of the O-line, them coming together from the beginning to the end.
I thought it was relatively solid. I guess the question is, as we get to the regular season, who's going to start at right guard and who's going to start at right tackle? I think those are the two question marks. And I don't know if you guys have an answer to that. Maybe they don't know that themselves right now.
He named Hubbard right tackle, didn't he?
Yeah, but
now,
like I've seen some projected depth charts that may have Brunskill moving over and Dylan Radins playing right guard. I don't know. Now that Radins is back, maybe there is a more competitive situation. I don't know.
So we don't know the answer to that. I think they're going to be okay on the left side with Dillard and Skoronski. And I think Brewer has more than held his own inside. The big question for Brewer will be, and it will get tested, believe me, it will get tested early, will be with, when teams, and the Saints will do it, will line up big people right over him, and force him to have to, win those physical battles. Because he's only 280 pounds, give or take. So that will get tested, but I think he's handled himself well. So the right side of the O-line, to me, is the question right now, and we're not going to know the answer to that until we start playing the games a week from Sunday.
So the where I thought Mayer was going to start, because he's been talking about it for like 3 days, is with Dr. Gibby, which would be Jack Gibbons.
I need to warm myself up for that one.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to take it from you because
go for it.
You need to relax over there. So, Cosell, what have you thought in the preseason of Jack Gibbons and kind of, I guess, as a whole with what he did last year? We know the football IQ is off the charts. I mean, next level, better than a lot, but the athleticism maybe not quite there at the NFL level.
Yeah, I again, preseason is preseason, but I watched a lot of the defense from a year ago over the last month, and I thought Gibbons really flashed last year in those last 4 or 5 games. When he got an opportunity to play really significant snaps. He's long. He's not. You wouldn't say he's a high level athlete, but because he's long and he can stride, I didn't think his inside out, sideline to sideline range was a negative. He's certainly not a sudden explosive athlete, but I didn't look at him and think, man, he's a little slow. Didn't feel that way. And, I think we've talked about this before. One thing and one word that defensive coaches use all the time is trust. And they can trust Jack Gibbons to use another cliche, but a true one, to do his job the right way. And I think that's why he's going to play. The combination of his size, his length, and his ability to do his job play after play after play.
There you go. Does that make you feel better, Mayor?
No, not really. Can Azeez Al-Shire just get to every ball that the inside linebackers get to? I mean, could that happen?
Yeah, well, he's a good player. He was a good player in San Francisco. Obviously, he was their third linebacker because Warner's the best in the league and Greenlaw is really, really good. But Al-Shire is a very, very good player. I thought that was a really good signing. And the other factor with signing someone like Al-Shire is he brings a winning attitude because of where he's been. Not that the Titans have not won over the last number of years, but you like to bring in players that have that kind of background and know what it takes to win. And I'm not just talking about on game day, but throughout the week. So he's, I think it could be a good linebacking core. You've got really good size there. Those are two guys with length to them.
Did we hit Skoronski individually?
I think we did after the first preseason game, but not really as a whole.
Yeah. What did you see from him this preseason?
Yeah. I'm a believer in Skoronski at guard. When I watched him in college, I thought that he would be best served playing guard. I know that was a big debate. Many felt he's a tackle. I'm not saying I'm right. I just think that, given his arm length, which is a little short for what you truly want to tackle, given his physicality, his toughness, his competitiveness, kind of a swagger to his game, I really think that he'll be a really, really solid guard. And I think he showed moments of that in the preseason. And I would expect him, based on everything I know about him, to just be one of those guys that you plug in and you feel very good about him playing on the interior of your O-line.
I think you're going to see him for a long time in this franchise, and maybe that running back in Tajay Spears, who
Yeah, I love him.
oh my goodness, gosh,
so
yeah,
the stiff arm in the last preseason game, and then just full speed 2 steps later.
He's a fun back, and I'm so anxious to see how Tim Kelly deploys him. Obviously Derrick Henry is the number one back, and it's not as if they're not going to give the ball to Derrick, but I think there's a lot of space for Tajay Spears in this offense, both as a runner and as a receiver, both in terms of where he can line up within the formation. Who's to say you won't see Spears and Henry in the game together to see how defenses line up personnel-wise? That's the first thing coaches look for, how defenses from a personnel standpoint line up to your personnel, and then you go from there. And it would not surprise me to see Henry and Spears on the field together.
That's a dynamic duo.
Yeah, Slade's been talking about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Love that.
Because you could do all kinds of things with Spears while Derrick Henry's standing there. You can put him in motion. You can put him in the backfield.
Without question.
And to your point, I mean, he's not just running screen routes. He's running option routes, and that's a lot more. That puts a lot more stress on the defense.
Sure, and when you line up with two running backs, essentially, teams tend to call that the pony package, and some teams do that in the league, not many, but like I said, it could be very, very effective because if defenses want to stay base, and then you put Spears in motion, or you detach him from the formation, and let's say give him a plus split outside the numbers, then you get a really good feel for how the defense is going to play. And that gives the quarterback a lot of information before the snap of the ball, and that's what you're trying to do.
The other thing about him, and Slay brought this up, I'm working Tulane this weekend, and so I chatted with Spears just about that program and all of that, and Slay was talking about just his running style, his ability to run between the tackles, even though maybe size-wise that isn't something he necessarily did forever, but just the versatility of what he can do, even in his running style, is impressive.
Just as a quick aside, you got to do me a favor, Dawn. I know Michael Pratt pretty well. You got to say hello for me.
Oh, do you? Okay, that dude's impressive.
He's a great kid too, by the way.
Yeah.
So you gotta remember that for me now, Dawn. Okay.
Okay, I'm on it. I will.
All
I
right.
will tell
Make a
him.
note.
Yes.
Make a note that I say hello.
He's an NFL guy, right?
He'll get drafted for sure. Yeah. I've watched his tape for the last 2 years. He's not physically imposing, but he'll get drafted for sure. He's a very good prospect.
Yeah, the decision making is clearly there.
But a great kid, just a great kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to Spears, Spears is a very versatile player, and I think that's what you're looking for, particularly if you have a back with Derrick Henry. You'd like to have a back that's not exactly like Derrick Henry.
Right.
You'd like to have a back that can do other things in the context of your offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coach Mack was saying that Derrick really likes the other two, that he's got a great relationship, is always over there talking with them too, so that helps as well. Titans picking up a couple of new players over the course of the last couple of days, and I'm curious, do you know much about Kendall Vildor from Chicago? Cornerback?
Yeah, I've seen him play. He started meaningful games for the Bears, and I always noticed him, on tape. So I guess, I wasn't studying him, individually, but I noticed him, which kind of meant that I thought he was doing okay. He's certainly a guy that can play in the NFL. Now, again, in an ideal world, I don't know how they see. They obviously signed him, but I assume Fulton and Murphy Bunting will start on the outside.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Murphy Bunting has had an injury history. My guess is if that happened, Trey Avery would end up being the other corner.
Yeah.
But beyond that, then you're dealing with, undrafted free agents.
Yes.
Basically. So you'd like a guy that has experience in the league, that has lined up and gotten it done to some extent.
Cosell, give me Travis Gibson. What do you know of him coming in, and how can he help this team?
Travis Gibson, and now he's another guy. He was I'm trying to remember. I've seen him. He was with the Bears.
Yeah,
correct.
Another Bears guy, rush in.
Yeah,
he had 7 sacks and 5 forced fumbles a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
It's funny because I always, even more so than Vilder, who we just talked about, I always noticed this guy, and I thought he was actually a pretty good player. I thought that he had some explosiveness to his movement. He's got decent length. I thought he could bend a little bit. I always thought when I watched the Bears defense, and again, I don't know, I don't have the Bears roster right in front of me, and I don't know everybody on their D line right at this very moment, but I always thought this guy was an intriguing player. Maybe not a guy you'd play every single snap, but I thought in terms of athleticism and the ability to move, that's what he could do well.
Yeah, they said he came he had great production in the 3-4 and then switched to the 4-3 last year, and his production went down when he had to necessarily put his hand in the ground at the DN spot. So
yeah, I mean, I think that he can. To me, he can rush the quarterback. I think he's got traits to do that, and I guess we'll see. If he's used, and again, he's a guy I think that you can put out there if you choose to in your sub fronts. But
Right.
we'll see. I think their sub front is set as of now, but you never know how the season plays out.
Yeah, that's another Coach Mack thing. He said today on the early show, Ramon, Kayla, and Will this morning, that you can never have enough pass rushers.
No, and that's true. You
yeah.
never can have enough pass rushers.
And so you start looking at the defensive line, and here's another guy, Cosell, that just appears to get better and better each year and has really shown up in practices and also in preseason games, and that's T.R. Tart, the nose tackle.
I knew you were going to mention him.
Out of Chattanooga. What do you think?
Yeah, and he's a Philly kid too. So I really liked him from the moment I saw him. I thought that for his body type, he had really quick feet. He's probably not going to play in your sub front, but I think he's likely to play in their base front, with Simmons, that they would likely be the two defensive tackles. And I think that he's a really good run defender, and he's a better athlete than one might think. I liked him from, was it 2 years ago that he sort of burst onto the scene?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Undrafted from Chattanooga, right?
Yeah, and I always have liked Tart. I think he's a really good player. And based on what you're saying, he had a really good training camp as well.
Yep. Very good. Very good. All right. So next week we can dive into Titans Saints and look at that matchup in detail. How about that?
That's a big. Well, every opening game is big. That's the way teams look at it. But that's a really intriguing interconference matchup. So we'll have a lot to talk about with that.
Yep. And it'll be Thursday, which means we could probably get into Chiefs and Lions a little bit too.
Now that's a pretty good matchup as well to start the season on Thursday night.
Love it.
Cosell, you putting the NFL up tonight, and you gonna catch a little bit of this college football and see what's going on.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm going to be switching back and forth between some games tonight. Okay. Little Florida, Utah. I think Nebraska and Minnesota. I know Matt Rule a little bit. He's the new head coach in Nebraska. So there's a bunch. UConn plays NC State. So there's a bunch of games that are worth taking a peek at.
Missouri and South Dakota State.
There you go.
No, it's just South Dakota, right?
Oh, it's just South Dakota.
People think I probably have 8 TVs. I only have 1 TV, so I can't watch 6 games at one time. I don't know how people can do that. I'm not smart enough to concentrate on 6 games at one time.
Yeah, we might have that mental makeup in this room. That's for sure. All right, Cosell. Hey, great job, man. Always appreciate it, and we'll be watching you on ESPN coming up shortly.
All right, Dawn. Don't forget now.
I won't. I will tell him. I'm excited to watch him play. Thanks.
All right.
At Greg Cosell on Twitter. 615-737-1045. We can turn it over to phone calls. More from Rand Carthon about kickers next. 3HL1045 The Zone.
Time to get to it. The time has arrived, people. Yes, Superbook Sports, the timing of football is it's right here upon us. Now, if you ain't going to put your money on it, I'm going to put mine on it so you can just sit back and watch. But for everybody that want to get involved and have a good time, wager a little, wager a lot. It don't matter. Let's have some fun with it. But my first-time bettors, you get an opportunity to use the promo code SLAY and get up to $250, whether you win or lose. You cannot lose, really, because you're getting $250. They will match your first bet up to $250. When you use the promo code SLAY, when you sign up, deposit, and wager, today. Make it happen, man. Don't sit on the sidelines. Come win that money with your boy. I'm going to be right there front and center. We got games going on tonight. Stay tuned for the Parslay at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Yep, somewhere around there on the 3HL. You got to be right there on the Zone TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch, please. There it is. And you need to go download it first, man. Go download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Book it.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Titans General Manager Rand Carthon visiting with the media today. More from him in just a minute, talking about kickers. He got a lot of kicker questions today. Cut 2 kickers on the same day. That's awesome. 2 kickers for the price of 1. You think they went in for the media at the same time?
Yeah.
Hey, Babs, you think
Yeah,
they walk
let me
in
just-
together, hand in hand?
Let me just whack you guys together.
Like Papa and Son. The one's
on in
big,
here.
one's little anyway. So,
And they've been here since the spring, and then just 5 minutes later, boom.
Gone.
Both of you.
He gone.
I mean, think about that period of time, like months. Like every day you're battling a dude, and then you both get cut on the same day.
Right.
Like your mindset has been, I got to beat this guy. Like you're on a safari. Like you got to not be the slow guy.
That's right.
They both were the slow guy.
Why'd you bring this guy in here?
The lion got them both.
Gotta go.
I like that, Mayor.
What it sound like to me?
Lion got them both.
Lion got them both. Rand Carthon. Ain't messing around. Hear more from Rand in just a second. Let's get to Susan, who is in New Jersey, has a question for us. Susan, what's up?
Hi,
Hi.
this is Sue from Sea Caucus, right by Giant and Jet Stadium I live. But I love Nashville, and I listen to you guys whenever I'm down here.
Hey.
But here's my question. Hey, by the way, Dawn, my friend used to be your mailman several years ago. Regardless, my question is, I am.
Hey, was he the crazy one?
Yeah.
No, she knows what I'm talking about.
He's in the room.
He's from Jersey City originally.
Yep.
And
He's awesome.
moved down here after the last 20 years. Jack is his name. Don't tell him I told you. My question, I love you guys. They think you're the best. It's always on in the car when I'm visiting. But what's up with not even talking about tennis?
Tennis.
Like
We got to get deeper in this tournament before we bring this up here.
what?
We got to get deeper in this tournament before. Like most people seriously listening to you say that don't even know what tournament is going on right now. I'm watching because I love it.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you saw that?
I watched Isner today, but I left and he was up
You did?
6-5. He was up 6-5 in the 5th, so I don't know how it turned out.
No, he lost. It was sad.
Oh,
It was
come
down
on.
from that point.
Damn it,
And
Susan.
also, yes, he did. I'm sorry. Were you going to watch it when you got home?
No. No, I just wanted him to win.
You're good.
No, I wanted him to win as well. And Coco, I love her. I remember when she started.
I love Coco.
I mean,
Coco Golf.
I love it. I know about it, but I really wish, maybe the guys down here would mention football. Listen, I live by the Jet and Giant Stadium. So I am a Jet fan, as much as most people would say, oh, you're not a Giant fan. But Aaron Rodgers did a thing the other day, and I don't know a lot about football, but and I am a Howard Stern fan. Do you know about that? Baba Booey nonsense?
Yeah. Hey now.
But Dawn, my boyfriend, friend, we know each other for years. He's from Jersey. Thinks a lot about you.
Oh, good.
Very nice person.
Good. Yeah. No, he's good.
All
Although,
right, Susan.
he did write me a note once and say, you probably should clean the bird poop off your mailbox.
So funny.
Which was
No,
fair
I mean,
enough.
How come guys? How come Southern down here in Nashville? What do you want? Don't even talk about tennis that much.
No, they don't. That's true.
Watch this. Slay, what tennis tournament's going on right now?
I don't know, but I've been watching Coco, though.
Right, but I mean, today Israel, what's his face, lost.
watch it.
The 6 foot. The guy that played for 11 hours at one point in his life, he retired, but he lost. I mean,
Susan's just full of
The
losers.
U.S. Open.
US Open.
Yes.
I know it.
There you go.
And my 2 names that I cannot pronounce. They're women. Latolia and I can't pronounce it. Pablo Jukupa. I don't want to upset everybody.
Did you just curse on our radio show?
No, it's not. That's her name. But the girl from one is from the Ukraine, so I hope she wins.
All right. Well, hey, Susan, check in with tennis stuff all the time.
Yes. Thanks for listening when you're here.
All right, Dawn. I would. We talked about you all the time a couple of years ago. So nice to meet you all.
Thanks,
See you,
Susan. Safe travels.
You know
when
why?
you head
You
back
know why I
home.
knew what it was?
Susan from Jersey.
Because last year that was Serena's little farewell.
Yeah.
one.
And Chris
Yeah.
went to it.
Yeah.
So that's,
that's right, yeah.
I remember it was this thing.
Yeah, Venus just lost, too.
My mom tries to go every year, like
Yeah.
her and her little tennis buddies.
I
She
want to
said it
go,
was
man.
Dope too. She
Yeah.
said it was dope.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
Mm-hmm. Real cool.
I'm in, but
They showed on TV
listen,
too.
Well, yeah. It's a major sporting event.
No, they showed her, Chris, on TV.
Oh, Chris on TV. I'm not even the U.S. Open.
So did I, and I was like, Slay.
No, I knew that, y'all.
Okay.
Nah, it's got to get deeper into the tournament. 615-737-1045. Rand Carthon talking about kickers. How much of this, them getting cut, came down to preseason game performances?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other position. You want to give them the opportunity to earn their way. And, we saw them and felt like, we had a chance to upgrade the position. So we did. We released both at the same time, and then we brought in Michael Badgley, gave him a shot at, just him being here by himself for a week, and gave him a shot. And, again, we're never not looking. And that's at any position. And so we had the opportunity to get a guy like Nick Folk, who I said made a lot of kicks in this league. And so it's our job to always upgrade and get the best people here for us.
Well, yeah, he's made a lot of kicks. He's going to be 39 years old.
I hope he's made a lot in 39 years.
Right.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Titans, do you draft a kicker next year?
Why not, man?
Are you like, okay, enough's enough?
I mean, they bring in this Cade York guy. He's a 4th-round draft pick.
Oh, and he got cut.
What if he beats out Nick Folk, though?
Waived. Then maybe he's your guy.
Yeah, you want him to beat him out.
Yeah.
Shoot,
you gave up a 7th-round pick.
Especially because he's young.
Yeah, that's perfect.
How many kicks do you think Nick Folk has made in his career?
Oh.
That's what I'm...
How long you been in the league?
You talking just field goals or total?
No, just field goals.
Just field goals. Not it. Okay.
While I look it up, hear Rand Carthon talk about the best way to develop a kicker.
If I told you how to develop a kicker, I'd be lying. I've never coached the position, so I don't know how you develop a kicker. I just know that he's talented. He's made kicks in this league, and he's someone that Coach Ock and his staff want to work with. So that's our job as a personnel department, is to get talented people in here that our coaches want to work with. And how that development goes, when you guys have open practice, you can watch what Ock does and that'll go into it. But I couldn't tell you how to do it.
I love Rand Carthon.
Honesty, man. You got to
I
love
can't
it.
tell you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I told Cosell. These guys are standing over here just watching kicks, whether they go through the uprights or not. Like, I'm not evaluating your kicking technique. Does your foot get way up in the air? I don't know.
Hey.
Great.
All right, 15 seasons for Nick Folk. He has attempted 426 field goals in his career.
He's made 402.
Let's see what 402 would be percentage-wise.
It's got to be kind of high. Golly.
402 divided by 420. So you're saying he's only missed 24 kicks in his entire career?
Yeah, man.
In 15 years?
He's cold-blooded, man. We need good juju.
Yeah, and he's available.
Good juju, man.
That would be 94%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe he
no.
missed 4. Maybe he missed 2 more. Take us down to 400.
Take him down to like 86%.
Dang.
So out of 426,
You're more
what do
than
you
that,
what do you think, Davenport? Don't be looking on your phone.
I'm not. I was doing math to figure out what 86% would be, but I don't know.
I just want to know if she knew the equation to get to that.
366?
Ooh,
She's close.
she was close. Nick Folk has made in 64 games 353 field goals.
Oh, yeah, cut him, man. Get him out of here.
It's off by 13.
I need him up there by 390.
That's 82.9%. That would be a B in class.
A high B. I'm rolling with that.
That's solid.
Well, when we were in school, that'd be
Give me
a
that.
low B.
Yeah, it sure was.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, how did that happen?
I don't know. They tricked us up. Tricked all that off. What was going on with that?
I don't know.
Wait, what was his percentage? What's the percentage of field goals he's made?
82.9%.
Randy Bullock has made 53.4 or 83.4% of his kicks.
So Randy Bullock better than Nick Folk.
Is that who we want?
No, not better.
83.4 compared to 82.9?
Oh.
Where's Randy at?
Sorry.
Did
You were
somebody
told
pick
there
him
would
up?
be no math.
Math. Yeah, but Bullock struggled here, but then went on to get it together, right?
That's what
That's
everybody
what seems
did.
to happen. Suck Up wasn't healthy,
Suck
totally
Up.
healthy here.
Who is it? Greg that went to Minnesota that was establishing his dominance or whatever he was doing? What was that guy's name? Why can't I pull his name now? Greg
Dominance. That's what I think of him.
And then that dude that's in the Chicago Bears now?
Santos.
Cairo Santos.
I gotta know all these kickers' names.
Well, they get released here and then go start everywhere else.
Was it Greg Joseph?
Greg Joseph.
Yes.
I was gonna say Anderson.
You gotta watch out for 2 first name guy.
I get you.
They will.
So we just signed
Like
a kicker
Mickey.
that's technically worse than the kicker we had last year.
Like Mickey Ryan, 2 first name guy. He's actually Steven Ryan. Are we gonna go through that again? Pooh. Lucas Panzica.
What is going on over there?
Lucas Panzica doesn't have a middle name. All right. More 3HL next, 104.5 The Zone.
This is for all the listeners out there who are struggling with hair loss. I'm sure you're tired and trying all the lotions and pills and creams and potions. With so many options and doctors out there, who are you going to trust? What's really going to grow your hair back? The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair is an incredible breakthrough. Receding hairline, thinning hair, bald spots, Advanced Hair offers a simple, quick, one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And get this, Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow. It works for men and women across all ages, and there's no one in hair restoration I recommend more. For your free consultation, call 629-348-HAIR. If you move forward, you will also receive $500 off, people. 629-348-HAIR. Refine your hairline with the team that has redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that guarantee. Make sure to view the incredible before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
Good evening from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Titans made some moves earlier today. They made the Cade York signing official to the practice squad. They also officially put Kyle Phillips on injured reserve, which made way for the signing of outside linebacker Travis Gibson. They have also waived Justin Murray, the tackle, from the active roster. And interestingly enough, player that they did cut, they're bringing back. That would be center Corey Levin. And Sam Okawanu has officially also been released from the practice squad. The two best teams in the National League go at it tonight in L.A. Braves, Dodgers, 9:10 first pitch. Spencer Strider's going to be on the mound for the Braves. And these are, like I said, two of the three best teams in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers with the third best record in the league. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What up, though?
HL 104.5 The Zone, Thursday edition. By the way, we will be broadcasting live tomorrow from the original Scoreboard Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Out at Opryland.
Live and direct, baby.
Not only broadcasting, giving you an opportunity to win a pair of tickets to sit in a suite for the game on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
I should have signed up for that.
What game on Saturday, Hunk?
That's going to be South Dakota State and Murray Junior College of the Left West. Don't
I
know
thought
what that
you
is,
would like
but okay.
that.
Tennessee, Virginia, of course, 11 a.m. at Nissan Stadium. So come by and register to win. I heard you have to be present to win.
Yes, you do.
All right, so come get some food and get you a bushwhacker or two.
Come hang out.
Get some cold beer.
Show up. Hang with us.
And show out.
That's right.
Because that's what we're going to be doing. And there will be a Hall of Famer there.
It sure will.
Rondé Barber.
Who's super awesome, too, to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
He will be great. That is for sure. Titans made the following transactions today. Signed to the active roster Corey Levin, outside linebacker Travis Gibson, who we talked about a couple of years ago, playing in the 3-4. He had 7 sacks and 5 forced fumbles. They go to the 4-3 last year, had 3 sacks, no forced fumbles.
It's a bit different.
Tad bit different. Signed to the practice squad, as Hunk said all this. Kicker Cade York placed on injured reserve. We talked about yesterday. Wide receiver Kyle Phillips. That means that he will miss at least the first 4 games. Waived from the active roster tackle Justin Murray. Released from the practice squad outside linebacker Sam O.
Man.
A lot of movement for Sam O.
So it was.
Release, signed to the practice squad, release from practice squad.
Run back again.
All in 2 days. Don Davenport is here, ladies and gentlemen.
What up, Babsy?
104.5 The Zone AI. On the T-Dot Smartway map, there appears to be a meteor approaching downtown Nashville. No, wait. Scratch that. No need to check for weather alerts. This appears to be a Babs NATO. She's coming in hot. Entering the studio in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Don Davenport.
It is Thursday, and we've got college football tonight, fellas.
Tonight.
We do.
I don't know about you.
Nebraska.
But I am pumped.
Nebraska at
Right.
Minnesota. Minnesota by 7.5. Is that the game you're talking about?
I took
no.
them.
You took Minnesota?
No, Nebraska.
It's a lot of points.
I know.
Matt Rule back in the college game.
Mm-hmm. Did well in the college game for you.
Which, let's be honest.
I might mess around with that one.
Yeah, that's where he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is where he belongs, and there he is. He's there. Like the streetwalker.
Where he belongs. Yeah, that's where they belong.
Ron Slade, ladies and
I'm in
gentlemen.
the building. Let's go, Rocky Top.
And from Nashville,
Yeah, I feel like
Tennessee,
you
at
needed Rocky Top
6'8",
all week.
at power forward, Ron Slade.
You got your flags up yet?
I know. I was about to. I would have got my
Y'all
car
better
washed
buckle up,
But
because
it
this
was
car
good.
ain't got no roof.
Flags will be flapping tomorrow. Tennessee takeover. Who state? It's our state. That's right. Is Vandy playing? They play Alabama A&M or something.
Alabama A&M.
That's right.
Is it here?
Bulldogs.
Yep.
No, it's in Huntsville.
Yes, it is.
It's about 3 miles from my house, Slay.
I mean,
What time is that game? I think it's at 6:30, but I'll check to make sure. What are you trying to say, Slay? You're talking with your hands.
all I'm saying is I know who is playing tomorrow.
You mean Saturday?
Yeah, I feel like tomorrow.
You're ready.
It's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
You going to show up tomorrow?
I
You
will.
sit
I
there
will
with
be.
you a shaker out there?
I will be.
Technically for Slay, it is tomorrow because he's not going to go to sleep Friday
right.
into Saturday. So
That
it
is
is one
right.
big long day.
Yeah, I was thinking about that
Down.
today because like people like to say, well, there's 2 more sleeps until Tennessee football, and I'm like, well, maybe for Slay it's 1 more sleep. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna get a good night's rest tonight.
Maybe
Then
it's
over.
Maybe it's me too. 1 night's sleep. I've been known to do that too.
I see him on Sunday.
Alabama A&M at Vanderbilt, 6:00.
All right. Let's get over that win mark, y'all. Trying to get the 4.
At First Bank Stadium,
Yeah.
ESPN Plus. Speaking of that, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster coming up at 5:20. Florida and Utah trying to figure out what's going on at quarterback for Cam Rising. Pete Thamel today said what our Bet the Board guy said like a couple of months ago, that it doesn't look like Cam Rising will be available for the opener. So the number went from where did it open? Like 9.5? Is that where y'all said?
Yeah.
It was up high.
All the way down to 4. Now it's back up to 5. And
So what does that tell you?
Well, Whittingham said you'll find out 10 minutes before kickoff. So apparently he did this last year in a game where Cam Rising didn't play, and the FS1 had the broadcast.
I remember that.
And the broadcasters were pissed,
That's crazy.
and he didn't care.
No, he didn't care.
So
No,
they
we've talked about that numerous college football seminars.
Because
Just makes your job really hard.
they don't want the information out, but you guys need to be ready,
Right.
So you got to prepare for both guys, I guess.
And
or
usually
in this
your
case,
broadcast crew is good enough to keep it all to protect that info. That's
well, yeah, you're pros.
yeah.
Not just
I mean, and
run around
listen,
on you.
if you don't protect that info, you don't get that info next
Yeah,
time.
you don't want
So
that now.
broadcasters are very,
well,
very
maybe
careful
that's
with
why
their
Kyle
info.
Whittingham is doing this. I don't know, but anyway, he said you'll find out 10 minutes before the game, and then Cam Rising said maybe 7 minutes before the game. Like he doubled down on it.
I was run out there and play.
I am anxious to see what Florida has with the quarterback, Graham Mertz, coming from Wisconsin. 32 starts, just under 60% though completion percentage.
Yeah.
Their running backs are good. Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne. More than 1,500 yards last year, 16 touchdowns between those two guys, 5.5 yards per carry. Receivers are just okay. Ricky Pearsall, we saw at Media
Arizona
Days.
State, too.
Yeah, that boy, that animal though.
Yeah, he
Like
plays.
number 1 or
So
something.
what's weird about him, if you look at his game logs, he plays really well against good teams and like
None
barely
against the
shows up against bad teams. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to show up all
That's
the time.
that's a mental.
Yeah. He was the one that did he have the glasses on?
Yeah.
He had the sunglasses on.
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
Offensive line has 1 starter back. They've got 4 transfers on their offensive line.
Make it jail. Make it jail. Don't you won't be able to count on the instincts and the legs of Anthony Richardson this time because he willed them to that win. Like he was just dominant.
Right. And how many plays did he make where there weren't plays?
That's
You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference.
New defensive coordinator, Austin Armstrong. He's 29 years old.
God, super young.
That is dope.
3rd different defensive coordinator in the last 3 seasons.
29.
Going to be more aggressive, he says. They couldn't stop the run last year, which is why a lot of people think Utah's just going to pass. Utah's got a running back that's 6'2", 224. And Kyle Whittingham said, this is the best offensive line I've ever had. So they're going to pound the rock.
Punish.
So interesting matchup today. We'll see what Florida looks like a little bit. Get kind of tuned in on them and kind of go from there. 615-737-1045 at 3HL1045 on Twitter. The Big Ragu. Big Savagery, Ramon Foster next on 1045 The Zone. Let me tell you about my friends at Buddy Allen Carpet One, if you don't mind. You can save big right now at Buddy Allen Carpet One, floor and home. All types of flooring from carpet to waterproof and tile on sale up to 50% with available 18 months interest-free financing. And with their price match guarantee, they will not be undersold. Buddy Allen Carpet One, floor and home, your local source for the best price on all types of flooring. Stop by the Buddy Allen store in Donaldson, 2405 Lebanon Pike for more details and to see their fantastic selection of flooring. 615-883-3289. BuddyAllenCarpet1.com.
Get up off that roof. What? You better. Unless you're James Brown, you can stay up there. But you get down, man. Chimney, they're going to take care of everything up there going on in your chimney. Need it cleaned out, need it ready to perform. Well, call the people that are honest, dependable, and affordable. That affordable part, that's key. The number is 615-364-8987. Chimney, you give them a call. Over 63 years of experience. They specialize in all aspects of fireplace chimney services, from inspection to estimates. Now, it's right around the corner, y'all. We're going to hit the fall, and you're going to be sitting there looking crazy, trying to figure out why you can't entertain. They're going to have to go over your neighbor's house instead of your house. Get everything in order, man. That outdoor kitchen, outdoor fireplace, the fire pits, fire bowls, any masonry work you need to be taken care of, even your dry vent service and all of your chimney service, repairs, restorations, makeover, whatever it is. 615-364-8987. Tell them Big Slate sent you. Get scheduled right now and take advantage of the hot summer special before it's no longer there. It's Chimney. What's happening, y'all? Listen, you made it. The Parslay is upon thee. Yeah, it's upon thee. Now, you got to understand, I got something for you. And we're going football. It's finally here, man. I already got my bet in. Here it is right here, y'all. If you want a baseball bet, I do got that. Let me give you that real quick. Nationals, money line. No, Nationals plus 1.5. Padres money line, Braves money line. Going out to L.A. on that one. That'll get you plus 432. But to the real subject. Football tonight, UConn plus 14, Nebraska plus 7, Kent State at Central Florida over 54.5, Florida at Utah. I'm going Utah money line. That's going to get you plus 933. Y'all know what it is. Let's go get that money. Here it is one more time. NC State and UConn plus 14, Nebraska plus 7, over 54.5 in the Kent State and Central Florida game. Florida at Utah money line. That's it, baby. Book it.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Thursdays are for Ramon Foster, Ramon, Kayla, Will. You can catch them weekday morning 6 to 10. Had an in-studio visit from Coach Mack this morning.
They sure did.
Nice.
Look at him.
Whoa.
Hey, my man, what's up over there, dog? You straight?
Hey. Hey.
Clear his
Cool,
throat.
Savage, man. I had to clear my
Let me clear my throat. I'm a boy.
I'm over here eating these seasonings on this asparagus and chicken, man. It got me real quick. That's all.
Me and Slay over here eating peanuts. We might be choking here in a second, too.
By the way, that's what I get also for coming into the studio. And I try whoever Ketos Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch over there.
Yep.
I just want to say it was trash, and I will never do that again.
Yeah, that's what you get for trying it,
No,
dog.
it's good.
Nah, good and terrible, Bab.
You want something sweet. Listen, me and Babs, we got sexy figures we trying to keep up over here, man. I don't know what you trying to do, brother. But we on pace
Right.
to do what we trying to do.
Hey, don't act like I don't see y'all on my TV right now. I might be doing an interview on the phone, but I see y'all on my TV because that's the best way to watch Fairy Tale is on the TV.
YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. You can
Twitch,
do it too. Yeah. F&M Bank Chat is open, and Ramon Foster is up in there. Yeah. Good and terrible.
Babs, I'm taking your Twitch please too. Just so you know, I can't not say Twitch please after Will says Twitch, so I just got to blame you for that.
I know. That's what a lot of people say. They
We were
can't
talking
hear
about
Twitch
this.
without it.
That's true. And we were talking about this the other day. Like, Buck says, in the meantime, like a million times a show. And every time he says it, I think in between time, peace.
Yes, I do the same thing.
Take us back to your first training camp, undrafted free agent, rookie free agent, and I'm curious to get a sense as to what you were thinking initially as you walked out there, and then like how much time went by before you said to yourself, "Hey, self, I got a shot."
Man, that is a great freaking question, man. As we close out training camp right now, my first thought was survive, like find a way to not just be a dude, like not just a guy. That was my initial thought because I was in survival mode, being undrafted, didn't know what my self-worth was. Again, I just had RJ at the time. I had my girlfriend, now my wife Keisha also. Like, there was a lot on my plate, on my mind, and the anxiety of everyday performing, man. And the first day we had in Patch, man, I tell this story all the time. Like, I got worked. Like, and I think it was strategic also. They put me up against some really good vets.
Yeah,
they
like who?
Turns on me. Brett Kiesel, Travis Kersky, Casey Hampton. Like, all these dudes from that, like, Super Bowl championship Steelers defense was still there. And I was getting worked, man. James Harrison might have rushed over me and everything. It was just – and what makes it even worse, Coach T, who operates a whole lot like Vrabel does, is very transparent with guys. He put me up on the big board that night and had 3 words up there, "Don't take it," with my face underneath that. And I was just devastated. And you know what I said? I said this, and that team, it was a team meeting too. I said, that'll never happen again. Happen again. I don't know how and why I'm going to make this happen, but it'll never happen again. And from that day forward, man, I just tried to wreck shop as much as I possibly could. I was beating guys. I was competing. I was doing all the things necessary for a rookie to do. And that's why I tell young guys. So I've had so many conversations with guys, like, do one thing. And that one thing for me was fight. And what transpired from there, Mayor, Savage, and Babs, was this. I call y'all all y'all nicknames. What transpired from that was this. I was going to late night snack that they had for us in training camp. I think most teams do it because you burn so many calories, right, and got to be ready. And Coach Tomlin was on the treadmill in the weight room on campus that we were at, and he walked out to me, and he said, "Hey, big fella, come here." I was walking with a group. He called me. I was like, "Oh, Lord, I'm about to be cut tomorrow morning." And he walks up to me and says, "Hey, how you think you're doing?" Me, I felt like I was having a good camp. I was like, "I feel like I'm doing pretty good." He said, "You are." And from that moment on, it was just go. Don't go back. Don't ever let him say I'm not doing pretty good. He actually told me that I was doing good, and I don't think he's ever done that too many times, man. That was my, okay, let's breathe a little bit moment, but keep fighting.
Right. So you thought, okay, I'm good. I'm going to make it right now. But how did you find out for real?
Man, we had a team meeting at 2:00. and I was told to be there like the rest of the team was. I walked in, and at the time it was 75 before the last cut.
Yeah.
All I remember seeing was like, man, there's not a whole lot of people in here. They closed the doors and said, man, this is the 53-man roster. And said, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable because we may still be moving, roster spots here and there, but congratulations. And then they walked out and said, go to individual.
Just like that. Let's get to work.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why, Coach Mack and Mike Keith keep praising us for saying the initial 53 because it does change. Were there any other training camps where you thought that you might not end up on that Steelers roster, or were you good at that point?
Man, I was always chasing it because being in that undrafted position, you feel like an underdog all the time. Training camp 2, 3, and 4, because that was my tender year, and I was slated to make, I think that was my biggest check at the time, right? But they had also drafted David DeCastro in the first round.
Right.
And I initially wasn't starting that. It was the guy that ended up getting hurt. That was the one year I was feeling like, dang, I'll end up in the backup making, at the time, it was like over $1 million. I was like, they don't usually do that.
No.
And, man, I just continued to fight, and I fought, and I fought, and I fought. I ended up becoming a starter the rest of the year, and the rest is history. And mind you, I had also started before then, but the way the business works, man, you just always have to fight and prove your position, and that's where I was. And I honestly didn't feel comfortable until after I got my second contract. And then every year after that, I felt like if I was above the board, I was at least going to have a job. It wasn't like one of those – I was like Caleb Murphy. Caleb Murphy kind of made that statement to Kayla. It was like, well, I know I'm going to be okay. That's how I felt essentially, but I just didn't want to make that change going to another city, different locker room. It was always in my mind, but I always fought it off, though, by trying to make sure I competed well.
Wow, it really feels like beyond that first year where you made it, you're right. Like if you're in an option year and they go first round at your position, they're planning on moving on from you, but you didn't allow them to do that, which is an amazing part of your story.
That's why I tell everybody, control the controllables. It ain't nothing you can do about those business decisions sometimes. You just got to head down and work, man. We can have a seminar to this youth. Ron and I talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
These social media, I hate it with the highlights, and that's simply what it is, highlights. You have kids who are thinking they're bad at their sport, and they're not bad at their sport. It's just that social media paints a big picture, and I always would tell a kid, man, what one thing do you do well? And I would tell them, do that thing and just put blinders on. Those are my two sentiments I pass to parents and kids that ask me, what do my kid need to be doing?
Ramon Foster with us at Ramon Foster on Twitter. Ramon, Kayla, Will, weekday mornings, 6 to 10. All right, offensive line. Now that training camp is done.
And you got to see them up close and personal on the sideline in preseason games. There's not a better look. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me start with Peter Skoronski. What's your overall take from his camp?
Solid. I'll say this about Peter Skoronski. We heard nothing. That is the best compliment you can have as a rookie and as an offensive lineman. There is absolutely no higher compliment you can have. He did what you needed him to do. Was there pressure? Yes. Did he finish blocks? Yes. I don't know if he had many mental errors because I'm not grading his tape as his coach would, but he seems to know what he's doing. Heck, coming from Northwestern, you'd expect that he understands the playbook. All in all, he's the first rounder that you want, and I'm okay with him playing guard, too. I've been hearing a lot of conversation about the ifs and buts and candies and nuts, as Coach Mack liked to say with the offensive line play. I like him at left guard, man. There's nothing wrong with that spot that he's at.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Babs.
No, you're good.
Now, so what do you think about their right side? With Hubbard, MPF looming to be able to come back soon, Dylan Raiders being activated, is that going to be a revolving door for the season, or do you kind of feel like one or two of those spots that can be locked down before those guys kind of re-enter the fray?
I'm going to preface this answer by saying this. Y'all know I have an attachment to Chris Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
I played with Chris Hubbard. I helped bring Chris Hubbard through the NFL essentially with how he was as a young guy in our offensive line room. So anything I say about him, take it for what it's worth. This is just my evaluation of him.
Mm-hmm.
Hubbard has been fine this offseason. What have you heard from him as far as the referees?
Again, nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Has no penalties.
Mm-hmm.
He's done well in the run game. They run right now. I know LeBron said run left, they have been clearing out front side more than anything on the right side. You have heard nothing as far as Chris Hubbard's concerned. I'd say the same things to Bronsko. Bronsko's worst day that I've seen him have is when he got knocked on his butt in Big Jeff in practice, and we've all talked about that. Since that moment right there, have we heard Bronsko getting dogged out?
No.
So my point on this is this. They have to have longevity of it as far as the game goes. Seeing this group do 65, 75 plays in a game, how will they stand up then? We don't know. All in all, as it stands, this group has been solid with the 5 they put out there. I'm okay with saying if Bronsko and Hubbard play well together, I don't know what's going to be from Chris. I don't know what's going to be the case for MPF whenever he comes back. And to throw Dylan Radins in the conversation right now, it seems like he's healthy. The fact that he's not on PUP and he's on the active 53, it just means this. There's more pressure on the guys that's starting in front of him to keep their jobs because, like I know, the draft pick always gets precedence when it comes down to decision-making and who's going to play ball. That's just how the game goes. If he's strong enough, smart enough, quick enough, and don't have many MEs when it comes down to his play, when he gets that opportunity, I personally don't see a need for a change on the offensive line at all.
So, Savage, you feel like it's a luxury to be able to go up against this defense, this front line, day in and day out to kind of get different looks and see what you need? Because in your situation, when you were with the Steelers, you had the opportunity to go up against that defensive line. You talked about them being able to work you, and then all of a sudden it flipped. So is that a luxury, or do things get highlighted that kind of shouldn't, and you kind of lose confidence of your O-line?
Man, it's always going to be like this. Such a tug of war whenever you're looking at that position. Savage?
Yeah.
Because everybody can point out what everybody's doing except for those 5 guys, right? With that being said, you got to go off of, is it good enough or is it not? Like that confidence when it comes down to that position and what they see, the coaches evaluate that every single day and practice after practice, that is. Having the ability to keep that group together as long as it's not flagrant, like, let's be honest, Dennis Daly was last year, you can build on this. This is not a bad group. Is it a group that you know? No. Is it a group that got a lot of names? No. The most prevalent guy on this offensive line is the rookie.
Yeah.
So that'll tell us all we need to know.
Yeah, it says a lot. At Ramon Foster on Twitter, Ramon, Kayla, Will, 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone. If you listen to them, keep doing it. If you haven't tried them out yet, do that for sure. You mentioned it a little bit. Dylan Radin's back. How does that affect things? Do you think that – we're approaching game week, but is there still room for like a competitive situation out there?
I would say it always is, Mayor. And this is the thing, too, about having Radins back. I think a lot of people around the league are stocking up on D linemen and offensive linemen in droves, man. If you got a quality one, teams are going to trade you for them. If you got one you think is going to just be okay, you keep them. Just simply because of those reasons right there, man. You have to be able to have that type of depth, and Dylan Radins kind of provides that. His position right now, man, is to prove that he can stay out there on that field. He's been snake bitten the last couple years when it comes down to his career, and he's going to be up against the clock sometime soon as his rookie contract is going to expire. So I know he's probably chomping at the bit to press somebody as far as them keeping their job and trying to prove he belongs not just on this team, but in the NFL too. After a certain amount of time, guys do kind of get that, stigma like, we don't know about him, or they move around to different teams. You don't want to be a guy unless you're being put in free agency. As far as a prime free agent, as far as switching teams, you don't want that type of reputation as a guy sometimes, man. Like, and I say this respectfully, like Clowney in a sense. Like, he's from team to team to team, but he's also cashing in and making some impact.
Yeah, speaking of Dylan Radins, Mike Vrabel was asked how Dylan Radins has looked since returning to practice. This is what he said.
Loved how he's worked to get back, and just, again, he just kept saying, hey, I'm ready. And it's like, this is kind of the conversations that you have with players, and, it's been good to see him work extremely hard to get out there and push and find ways to get in as opposed to looking for ways to get out. And he was like, just give me a chance. Let me get out there. Let me practice. Let me work. And he even took some team reps yesterday and, came through that really good. And we'll get some more in there today. So, again, we'll just keep working him in there, see how he responds to the work. And the other thing I really appreciate is we've had guys that are working with him now back at practice where, Jeff Simmons can go over there to the side and work 3/4 speed and say, I know that this guy's just now getting back. What can I do to help you? Whether that's pass rushers that are just coming off the ball and maybe not going full speed or going through contact or doing some things to help them. So I appreciate that from the players, and I thank them as well.
See,
man.
See, I didn't even know he said that, but that's why I asked you, like, is it a luxury to have guys like this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To kind of pull you along. Like, they know they got something special in their defensive end, man. Anybody not pulling their weight is going to be different, Savage.
Sports is such a beautiful thing when done right. You know what I'm saying? When the parents get out of the way, when the players understand what their roles are, when you understand that it's a full team thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're getting. And just being charged to himself, like Dylan Radins. Honestly, y'all got the fear of missing out. That's what's going on right now, right?
Yes.
He got it. And what is he charging himself to do? Work a little bit more. But then when you have a team, when you have a guy who's a leader and not just worried about, well, I got mine, like a Jeff. Like, Jeff's not worried about getting his. He knows that's going to come. Like, hey, Dylan, what you need from me? I got you, man. Those are the things that championships are built upon. Those non-tangible things, as coaches like to say. Those things that, look, I'm going to set the rules, but y'all create the culture. That's one thing we've been talking about when it comes to this team, man. That's one of the first things I've said since I've been on 104.5 The Zone since 2020. Well, who are the pillars? What is the culture of this team? And I'm glad to see that I'm still in this role, on this job, man, to see this type of stuff happening, where a Jeffrey Simmons is going to help a guy that's had a struggle first 3 years. Let's be honest about that. And it's all right for him to be in that spot, too, because that's the game. Football is always an injury-plagued sport to where you can't control what you can't control sometimes. But to have that on your side, because feeling like an outsider is the worst friggin' thing you can have in sports. And the fact that you got one of your premier guys like Big Jeff lending a hand just because, like you said, Savage, you're going to eventually help us somewhere. I don't know where, Dylan, but I'm going to help you get to where you need to mentally and physically, so let's go to work.
Right.
Ramon Foster, Kayla Will, 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone. Thanks, Ramon. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, no doubt.
Hey,
no doubt. Y'all be good. By the way, I got to say this too, man. Corey was right about something from Hendersonville, man. It's one intro that got to go, and it's one that says Ron Slay is 6'8". He ain't no 6'8", man. I'm with Corey on that one.
You know what?
You know what Hunt needs to play? Because the haters gonna hate.
I said bye.
Well, that too.
You need to get yourself in order for this weekend, brother. That's what you need to do. You lean on
We
back
got
and
a
get
big
yourself.
one.
Yeah, we got a big weekend. And then you
we
gonna
got a
take
big
shots at me.
weekend.
I'm riding with you.
Savage. It was too good at the end. I had to cause a little chaos. It's too good.
Hey, you going to be there at 7:30 when Slay opens the tailgate doors?
He with
Make
me.
sure Slay there. Yeah. Oh, we hosting this thing together, man. It's going to be a good time. I'm not sure if you on the list. If you're not on the list, go talk to somebody that can get you there, because we're going to show out and have a daggone good time.
Wait a minute. You can't get me on the list?
Mayor, you should have talked to my people to talk to Ron's people and also reach out to Babs people. No, we got you, man. We got you.
Babs people. I don't know who Babs people are. She runs them all off.
I have no people.
All right, see you, man. Gonna be a fun weekend. All right, later. Ramon Foster, at Ramon Foster on Twitter. When we come back, more from Vrabel next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Thank you, Don Davenport. Located in the heart of Brentwood. You can check them out online, BrentwoodJewelry.com. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Not only do they have the best selection in watches, they also are the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, both vintage and current models. You can own a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost, and every watch has been meticulously serviced to ensure the highest level of performance and is presented with a 2-year warranty. Brentwood Jewelry here to help you pop the question. If you're thinking about doing that, let Brentwood Jewelry help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. You can browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings or talk with their custom design specialists to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. Brentwood Jewelry, 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Hey, man, listen, don't you slack on that power outage. You think that power outage ain't going to hit? It's going to be right there waiting on you. And if you are the one that is disrespectful to it, it'll hit your house. And then you'll look around and everybody else will have lights. And it'll be because of Cove Generators, because they did the right thing. They got a Generac home standby generator, people. You can too, Babsy.
That's right. Sorry, I was about to jump you.
I was trying.
Cove Generators, your premier Generac home standby generator dealer. And speaking of deals, they got one right now. A free new 10-year warranty with the purchase of a Generac home standby generators. That is now through October 8th. That's over $1,000 value. What a perfect time. Some terms and conditions may apply. Just call Cove Generators for any details. You can visit covegenerators.com. Never lose power again. What's that number, Slay?
It's 931-559-3311. You can stay connected through it all.
3HL 1045 The Zone. We just cut the promo for tomorrow. Hunk, how quickly can you turn that around?
You want the dry version?
Yeah, let's do the dry version.
Oh, my gosh.
This is what me and Slay just came up with. What are you doing?
All right,
I'm
here we
clearing
go.
my throat before this promo plays and destroys
man,
all of our credibility.
This is some well-scripted, well-written stuff right here. Hey, Joe, you got me, you got Slay, Scoreboard Bar and Grill out at Aubreyland, the original location. Be there because
now we're going to have a Hall of Famer, Gold Jacket, coming through. Rondé Barber, thanks to Superbook.
Talk college football with Danny Cannell.
And
a couple of former Titans.
That only makes sense.
Mark Mariani, Keith Bullock. And your chance to
get fried
and register to win sweet tickets.
Okay.
Tennessee and Virginia.
Let's go, baby. Come on.
You're a hobbit. Mayor,
I'm giving the space. I'm like,
he teed you up 4 different times to talk about us giving away sweet tickets. And the last one, finally, you're just like, get fried. Done.
All those fails, get fried.
Can you play that one more time? Yeah, the last time I really teed him up to give away the tickets.
And
your chance to. Can you play it one more time? Just for Friday edition of 3HL. You got me, you got Slay, Scoreboard Bar and Grill out at Aubreyland, the original location. Be there because
now we're going to have a Hall of Famer, Gold Jacket, coming through. Rondé Barber, thanks to Superbook.
Talk college football with Danny Cannell. And a couple of former Titans.
That only makes sense.
Mark Mariani, Keith Bullock. And your chance to
get fried
and register to win sweet tickets.
And there's number 4.
Tennessee and Virginia.
4 times he teed you up.
There you go. There you go. If you don't know an answer, just get fried. Give me another drink.
Get fried.
Yeah, I'll get it together here soon. Okay.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to figure it out, y'all.
I hurt.
I'm out here seeing streetwalkers and stuff, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to take place this weekend.
Streetwalkers in COVID masks. Trying to be careful out there on the streets, man.
Safety first, everyone.
It's rough out there.
Shout out to them.
COVID making a return.
You think they listening?
Through the streetwalker community?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
we're really popular. We're number 1 with streetwalkers. Great background noise.
By the way, Babs just uttered a line in the last deal that's going to be on some kind of tape somewhere.
oh. I caught it, but then I couldn't fix it.
You had to do a commercial. That's the funny thing is when we do that, and you're like, "Oh crap! What did I just say? I'm going to pump you or what? Jump you? I'm going to jump you.
I was going to jump you.
Oh, you did.
That's what I said.
And then she had to do 60 seconds while me and you are laughing like school kids over here.
Oh,
we had a great time.
Phrasing, Davenport. Phrasing. Hunk, don't you save that.
Yes,
don't
you do,
save it.
Yes,
What a
you do.
show, man.
What?
Good
Right on top of
job.
that, huh?
Good job.
I'm working on trying to fix this promo right now.
You're like
It sounded good, huh?
You're like Vinny Barbarino in there.
Vinny Barbarino.
Why?
Hey, man.
Florida, Utah. What's that line at now? Has it gone? Has it jumped down to 3?
No, I think it jumped up to 5.5 a second ago. Let me make sure.
Didn't somebody have a report live from the field on that
Yes,
report?
I was going to say Holly Rowe was live on Twitter or Instagram or something. She's the sideline reporter for the matchup
Maybe
tonight.
it was Twitch.
Twitch, please. One of those. And she said, yeah. Cam Rising was out there. She was showing him. She said, look who's out here running around. It was Cam Rising. She said he does have a large brace on his knee, but, you know, knowing Cam Rising, if it's up to him, he'll play. Although it's not up to him, honestly, because I'm sure Coach is like, listen.
It is not up to him, but Florida hopes he doesn't play. Let's just say that.
I mean, he was moving around. Okay, that brace was massive.
But
a lot of guys play in big braces.
So the thing about it is that it's a non-conference game. They've won the Pac-12 2 years in a row. Now it's the Pac-4, but they're not in the Pac-4, so they can win the last one. They can win the last Pac-12 ever. It's got to be something. That's got to be worth something, right? Let's go to Swab Zombie next up on 3HL. What up, Zombie?
Hey, what is going on today, guys and gals?
You tell us, man.
Well, bringing up the Utah game, I still got some trauma from last year. I had a non-leg parlay, and it was the last game.
Oh.
And
they were favored by 3.
Literally, yeah, They were on the goal line 3 times, went for it, and come up with 0 points 3 times. That game should have never been even close at all. So Utah's a better team. I can't. It's too early to go back to them. I gotta stay away. Yeah, you know what I mean. The real thing is Mayor Davenport.
Right. Yes.
Slay.
What's happening, baby?
I'm gonna be in your neighborhood tomorrow.
You sound like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, what you gonna slide?
We got a fantasy football league going. We got a couple of spots left. I didn't know if you wanted to slide in or what, man.
I mean, I need to know the details and how much I'm able to win.
I don't.
How many
I'm
teams
out.
are in?
Are you available from 7 to 7:30 tomorrow in your neighborhood? So
no,
that's
it's gonna be tough getting back all the way from scoreboard to get to that time.
Your neighborhood.
Right. We might be able to. We might be able to do a remote until you get there. You know what I mean? So, I could do it on my phone. How many
players you got in the door?
We got a solid 8, possibly 10, and the max will be 12. So, we're trying to do it all live. But like I said, we could do it remotely.
So I'm with you on 12 because 12 means a lot more roster manipulation throughout the season because the players are spread out.
I don't like that.
8's pretty good.
I love 8.
Yeah.
And then you probably going to have a snake draft. If I mess around and get 5 or something, and I got to wait till tomorrow to get my draft pick. I hate if it's 8, 10 is the max for me.
10, yeah. I know it's just fun. We're doing it with like our faculty. We're actually going to have a competition in the morning to see the draft order. So
that's fun. What kind of a competition?
Yeah. Is it a keg stand competition?
Ooh.
Well, it would be nice. We got a couple of rounds. The first round is going to be questions. For every question you get right, which is supposed to be NFL trivia based, and also random items that might be in your pocket. You know, do you have this in your pocket? So for all the answers you get right
in your cargo pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a little strategy, but you get 5 seconds knocked off your time, and then the second round 2 is more of a physical layup, free throw, cornhole board, pong, and then we added a creative. There'll be an open bottle of water on a table, and you have to empty it without using your hands. And then the timer stops. So
sounds like a whole lot, man.
That's
y'all gotta play it.
That's intense.
Yeah, we're trying to make it fun. It's the first time we're kind of doing it like this. So
all right. Thank you, Schwab.
Well, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for ending the show with me. Let's go.
Hey.
Sniped him.
He got sniped.
I clipped him. Streetwalker got him.
Yeah, they'll get you.
But you won't get COVID.
Yeah, be well. Be safe, though.
You'll get something.
Boys.
That's hot, man.
Clean it up.
That's hot.
I'm headed to Nollins.
Can I go with you?
Oh,
boy, that's a good place for all that. You can find anything down there.
May need a COVID mask.
Oh, y'all.
All right, coming up next, Florida and Utah at some point. Yeah. Is that at 7? That's at 7.
That's at 7. 3HL After Party brought to you by Awaken 180.
Will you hear Walt Wells?
Yes.
Okay, y'all seriously listen to this conversation with this guy. They brought him back 7 times. 1 year ago this week, he's about to coach again.
Crazy.
Great dude from Nashville. All right, love y'all. Mean it. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
She won't.